Play's about to resume after tea. We've got a pitch invader running out towards the middle, being pursued by several stewards. He's actually on the pitch at the moment, and he's now been grabbed and has been taken away. Well, we didn't need that after the interval. Enough drama going out in the middle already, with 4 England wickets down and the game in the balance of tea, and England need to do some hard work. Tuffers is here, and so too is Jonathan Agnew.
Is there anything else that can happen today?
Had everything, haven't we?
He got wrestled right on the length, just outside off stump as well, which won't please Joe Root.
Yeah, he's actually looking at the pitch now.
Yeah.
There's a masked invader, and he's being bundled away in towards the grandstand. And that's the last we'll see of him, I suppose.
Yes.
I thought those days were over of people running on, I must say. It seems to be sort of well controlled, because the fines are punitive. They really are. It'll cost you a lot of money to come running on.
Yeah.
It all seems rather pointless, really, but off he goes. And the stewards have done their bit there. I remember there was a phase in which stewards decided that they wouldn't try and catch them, wasn't there? Because it sort of led to lots of chases and so on. Well, they moved in quite quickly there. So 67 for 4 is the situation. There are 38 overs to be bowled. The light isn't great, but it's not bad either. The floodlights are on. And Jasprit Bumrah is going to bowl to Joe Root, who's on 33. In he comes now, bowls to Root. He keeps his bat inside the line of a fullish ball outside the off stump. And there is no run. Jos Buttler's appeared. He's down there at the non-striker's end. And England have got some batting to do here, Tuffers.
Yes, they have. What a time to get a wicket as well, just before tea. I mean, it is all slotting into place for India at the moment, but
it'd be amazing if they do win this game from where they were first thing this morning.
Yeah.
Bumrah comes in, bowls, and Root covers up. Plays down to mid-off, trying to prevent that victory from happening. But if it didn't even involve the person that you would have expected for India to win. You've expected that Punt would have to have slogged the ball everywhere, got a quick 60 or something.
It's just been an incredible day.
Yeah. That wasn't the case. He was dismissed really quite early on.
I thought that was England's game then.
Yeah.
How wrong we all can be.
Moeen's in the hot seat. I saw a glimpse of him there. I can see him in the pavilion. He's cuddling his bat, rather cradling it very lovingly. Bumrah on his way, bowls, it's edged and it's caught, and Root is out in the first over after tea, and that feels like a death knell. He pushed at one outside the off stump, edged it low. It went quite quickly. Taken by Kohli, who then embarked on one of those sprint celebrations, wide-eyed, even wild-eyed.
Wow.
Finger pointing upwards. That's out. We know it's out, Virat. The whole ground knew it was out. You could hear it. And Joe Root walks off for 33.
End of sessions, start of sessions. Crucial in Test match cricket. They got rid of Johnny Bairstow, the Indian bowlers, just before tea. And then 3 balls after tea, Joe Root nicks off to Virat Kohli. And Moeen's in the hot seat now, because he's had to get up off of that seat and get out into this cauldron. And it is intimidating out there. It's not really Moeen's game either, you know. He's a free-flowing player. Yeah. Jos Buttler not in the best form. England up against it here.
67 for 5.
Oh.
Well, isn't Test cricket great? Joe Root in this Test, 180 off 321 balls, finally dismissed after 33 off 60 in the second innings, so 213 runs from 381 balls. I think England would be in even more trouble without him.
It's just, I can understand it though, John. I mean, you have that chastening morning, you know, and then you're 2 wickets down and then you're thrown in again. He's had to lay it all in the line and score a magnificent 180 in the first innings as well, and then sometimes you just, you know, you can't.
Well, I think you had to play at this.
That's great. That's a great ball.
Given Bumrah's angle, it's just bounced a bit.
Great delivery.
Found the outside edge.
Oh, no, I mean, crikey, it was a great ball.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it was a good ball.
First after tee, angled in, just nipped up the hill a bit, and you get an outside edge on it. So there's no disgrace about that.
Here's Moeen's first ball. 2 slips, a gully and a short leg. Bumrah comes in, bowls him a whistlingly fast bouncer. Flies over his head, high over his head. And it's collected by Pant, but that's a hostile delivery. 5 wickets for India to win. They've got 37 overs on what remains of this one.
I've played in a few of these games. When he's completely turned something round with a bit of tail end batting.
Yeah.
You know, and it just the momentum and the whole, you know, the to and fro of the game, just so much goes on in your favour. Everyone's up for it. And
I think it's because it's sort of unscripted.
Well, it is, exactly.
So everything goes, hang on, what's going on here?
Yeah, and everything in the old brain starts getting scrambled, and then 2 quick early wickets and you're in.
Bumrah's going round the wicket to Moeen. Here he comes, Bowlstrom. Oh, let that go. So it passes off stump. It's the off bail, I think, to be more accurate. 67 for 5.
And I know we keep banging on about it and everything. I mean, I can remember the one against Australia as well. I think Devon Malcolm got Elliott out sort of like first over. If you can just get through that, let's say first 15, 20 overs, everything settles down a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you get early wickets, the momentum and the charge just keeps sort of running through you. England up against it here.
They really are. Moeen waits. It's the last ball of the over. Bumrah bowls trim. Oh, he's got that away into the leg side. Only as far as backwards square leg. 2 new batsmen then, because Buttler hasn't faced a ball yet, and Moeen's managed to survive those 3.
I don't fancy Butler's chances either. He's just not moving his feet, is he?
No.
He's just sort of planted a bit. You've got to try and get those feet moving. And so you've got 2 fellas in at the moment on on naught. I mean, it doesn't get any better, does it, really?
There's an unhappy pairing on the England balcony. They're sitting together. I see Burns and Sibley are sharing a bench.
Well, they better make the most of it, I think, because they might not be sitting together for the rest of the summer. It's got to be a change, hasn't there?
Well, it has to be, I think. Right, Butler's taking guard. What a field this is. I mean, Kohli here, he likes to set some strange ones, but he's excelling himself as slip. Rohit Sharma is a second now. This leg side field is a backward square leg in a catching position. There's a forward short leg with the helmet on. There's a close mid wicket, and they've been precisely set by Kohli, moving them this way and that. Shami's at mid on. On the offside, there's a mid off and a backward point. And those 2 slips that I mentioned, this is for Sharma. He is swinging the ball in.
Yes, exactly. And the one thing that I've noticed with Jos Buttler, through that lack of foot movement, especially Sharma's the perfect bowler because he will be looking to come in through the gate or bat pad and caught short leg.
Sharma's on his way, bowls that in swinger, brushes something, Pant stops it. They go scuttling through for, I assume that's a bye, is it, or a leg bye? Perhaps it's a leg bye. He's brushed the pad.
Yeah, he sometimes just doesn't get that front foot out to the pitch of the ball, does he, when he's sort of like feeling for it in his innings. And
well, Moeen's got to be careful here because he'll come round the wicket at him and look to just move it away with that bounce. So I'd think if I were Kohli, I was seeing him more in the way of the slip cord here. Here they come. He's got 4 in there. That sounds about right. And a short leg. And Moeen squats, loosening himself up. The 2 fieldsmen there swap.
Well, was it Sri Lanka, wasn't it, when he batted? That scored a magnificent 100 at Headingley, and just at the end,
Jimmy Anderson was out with 2 balls to go.
That was Moeen's second Test match.
Played really well. 68 for 5. He's waiting now as Sharma kicks up his heels, moves in round the wicket, and he bowls. And that's the one. That's the one.
Wow.
Moving away, bouncing, and Moeen playing from the crease is completely defeated. And if you had to put your mortgage on what Sharma's going to do here, and there you go. That was precisely it. Fullish length. Moeen doesn't want to get forward. He's got the short leg fieldsman there. 4 slips waiting. The ball moves away and bounces.
Which it is. Just that angle round the wicket as well. So difficult to line up. You think that everything's coming into stumps and pads, and then it just leaves you.
68 for 5. Sharma gallops in, bowls to Moeen's 2 wide. You let that one go. 36 overs to go after this.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Skimming through the reminder of who's to come in. Sam Curran next, Ollie Robinson, and then it's Mark Wood and Jimmy Anderson. Looking forward to another go out there.
Yeah, it's been a great test match.
Has. Love the twists and turns, the unexpected course this one's taken.
Phenomenal.
Just completely extraordinary. 4 slips waiting. Sharma's on his way, bowls to Moeen. Did all but edge that.
Well, I've sort of been sitting here sort of open-mouthed all day, which is a little bit not great if you're trying to commentate, because you're meant to move your mouth, aren't you?
Well, you are. It has been a jaw-dropper, though.
It has been a jaw-dropper.
89 for the 9th wicket between Shami and Bumrah, who averaged, Shami about 11, isn't he?
Yeah, he was, I think, career average at 11. Over the last 3 years, he'd been averaging 6. Bumrah had a career average of, 2.2 before the series, went up to, I think, 3.5 after his epic innings at Trent Bridge.
Yeah.
He's more than doubled his career tally.
Their averages will be soaring now, not outs.
Well, there's not many that I beat on the average stakes, and I'm in front of him.
Yeah. Sharma again bowls and Moeen raises the bat.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? You know, you get into that, and this is what the joy of the longer game is. You know, it's for 4 or 5 days you're concentrating on every ball, and then something just sort of out of the box happens, and everything's off kilter, isn't it? And you're just sort of treading water and not knowing what's going on. It's just,
and the game rushes away.
It does. Next thing you know, you're in the car and you're driving up the Henley.
Yep. Still the 4 slips and the short leg.
It's not done yet.
1 ball to go in the over. Sharma round the wicket, bowls and Moeen plays that nicely, taking the bat out of the way. It's collected by Pant. A good over from Ishant Sharma. He certainly made it pretty clear how he's going to bowl at Moeen. And the spectators come back from their tea. They'll have missed Joe Root. They're out there sitting on the nursery end, except, they'll have seen it they've got some big screens up there, so they'd have seen it there, I guess.
I put it down not having any kippers this morning. That's what it was.
I actually looked out for you this morning as I walked past.
Yeah, no, I didn't. You see, I decided not to, and that's the reason for me.
Yeah.
You start thinking of these things, don't you, as a cricketer? Well, what did I do differently?
I just spent all the day open mouth. It's probably good he didn't have kippers.
Well,
there you go.
Very true.
But it's been one of those days.
Butler's taking guard. He might be getting a bit in his ear there, because he certainly had no shortage of conversation.
Yeah, we want to make sure that it
Indians
doesn't boil over.
Absolutely. I mean, you can have a bit of this, but
but it's been pretty full on.
It never really bothered me with that sort of stuff. It's all pretty silly, isn't it?
Ridiculous, isn't it? But there you go.
It is really. Bumrah from the pavilion end bowls. Butler, he managed to get his bat down there. It seemed all rather late, a bit hurried and a bit pokey, and he's had to jab down on it. It's picked up at mid-wicket. 68 for 5. It's only 25th over of the innings. It feels to be going forever.
I know.
In terms of Joe Root's domination of the England batting, he scored 180 of England's 358 runs off the bat in the first innings, so over half, and so far 33 of 44 in the second.
Yeah, we talked about that average, and in fact he's still not suffering, is he, as a result?
No.
Because no one else is scoring any runs. Bumrah comes in, bowls, and that's a nice one for Butler to work away down to long leg. Which he does gratefully. And he'll take 1 run, so...
See, Curran's not much of a sort of a blocker, really, is he? He's a bit of a D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
Outside the off stump.
There aren't many sort of instinctive draw players down there. Are there?
Perhaps Jimmy if he gets stuck.
Butler, Moeen, Curran.
Sounds more like a T20
lineup. They were flashing blades.
They are, but they will have to change their game.
Absolutely. Bumrah then is going to bowl round the wicket to Moeen. Comes striding in, a little jittery start now, and he bowls to Moeen, who covers up and plays determinedly back up the pitch.
I felt a bit sorry for Hamid. I think it was a bit sawn off there.
Yeah.
Top of legs.
I was here. I thought it was going down, if I'm honest, but I thought he played nicely, but
yeah. At least he got off the pair.
He did. It was all. I mean, when he came out, it was all going on, wasn't it?
Well, it was absolute chaos out there.
Yeah. 69 for 5. Moeen waving his bat. Waits for Bumrah, who launched himself into another one. Bowls again, a really high bouncer, but does well to stop that, taking off vertically.
Might have strained his stomach muscles there.
He just loves it, Pant, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got a great smile on his face. think he'd be quite entertaining at one of those question and answer sessions that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. I reckon he's got a few good stories up his sleeve. Yeah.
Certainly make you smile.
It seems a long ago when we were commentating on him nicking off and going, oh, here we go.
Absolutely. Bumrah rushes in again, bowls to Moeen. He's got runs here, turning it very fine, and the fielder can't get there. The boundary to Moeen. The ball just a little off target from Bumrah, and with the angle from round the wicket, all Moeen had to do is get a little bit of something on it, and away it goes. So he's 4 not out. 73 for 5.
Oh, lights have come on.
Yeah, it's a funny old afternoon.
Well, it's been a funny 5 days, isn't it? I mean, there's been cloud cover every day virtually. It's been nice seam bowling conditions all test.
Bumrah with a short leg waiting, moves in, bowls to Moeen. Oh, he's beaten there. Flew past the outside edge and over the off stump and into Punt's waiting gloves. The end of the over, 73 for 5. Burns 0, Sibley 0, Hamid 9, Bairstow 2, Root 33. The men dismissed. So that's the England tail, and for India, well, Punt out for 22 after 13 were added. Nicked a nice ball behind of Robinson, and then Sharma was out. What about 14 runs later or so? He got a bit more than that. He got 16 of them. So he was LBW to Robinson for 16, 209 for 8. The lead then 182. Thought 195 to win, 200 to win, loads of time. Well, from 209 for 8, Kohli declared at 298 for 8. Stand of 89 in 20 overs between Mohammad Shami, career average 11, Jasprit Bumrah, career average 2.2. Butler playing forward, and there's no run. They put on 89. Shami 56, which is 50 with a 6 into the grandstand. Bumrah 34, 64 balls. Played brilliantly, but they just, England completely lost the plot. The field is feeling in these bizarre places. Bouncers, Yorkers, there's no length bowling.
No. And as we know, Baggers, you know, it's that length at the tail enders. Otherwise, there wouldn't be tail enders, you know, because we can all hit a half volley or jam a Yorker out.
There's Sharma bowling outside the off stump. Butler plays no stroke at it. That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's that in between. Do you go forward? Do you go back? Oh, I've nicked it.
I missed it.
Yeah, there you go. And that's what it's all about. But it was just 2 lengths to which, and also you could just see that as it, you know, they got one away and there wasn't a fielder there. The pressure was released and they started to just go, well, hold on a minute. You know, it's a pretty flat track, and
they played some nice shots.
They played some nice shots.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't a great session for England.
No, very poor. Butler is 1 not out. Sharma's on his way to him. He's there and he bowls down the leg side. Cry of catch it from somebody, but Butler didn't get any bat on that. Punt skipping to his left, was able to gather that one. 73 for 5. No one's left, everyone absorbed by the game. Can England hang on? Will India win? That's the question, really. Light not very good. There's some brightness in the distance, but I think today the wind's switched a bit. It's coming more from over the grandstand. It's quite murky over there, so it might be that I have an issue with bad light. Butler waits again. Still 2 slips there. Sharma gallops in and bowls a big in-swinger to him, but he plays it nicely off the front foot. He's in the middle of the bat and playing the ball carefully to mid-off. A swing there. It's a nice view from here. You can actually see the ball swinging down the pitch like that and coming back, cutting off the seam. Sharma throws himself a catch with his right hand. Pauses for a moment, bending over. And now sets off once again, kicking those heels right up. He's there and he bowls, and Butler is forward once more, playing carefully to mid-on this time, where it's fielded by Shami, who dismissed Sibley. Wasn't a bad ball, to be fair.
Nah,
Pitch
the belter.
just swung away a bit and Sibley nicked it.
Not what you want.
No.
Second or third ball, feeling under the pressure of the game situation and playing for your career. And it's just,
Sharma's got a very good record against Joss Butler. I noticed there on the screen about 6 times.
yeah, because he does leave that bat and pad open a bit
Yeah.
outside that off stump. Great for white ball cricket, but when it's swinging with a red ball, there's a gate there.
Last ball of the over. Sharma goes in, bowls. It's edged, but doesn't carry. Sharma got a hand to that at second slip, but it bounced comfortably in front of him. And Butler scurries off for a single. It means he'll keep the strike, because that was the last ball of the over. 74 for 5, 26 overs gone. Butler 1. Moeen has 4. I wonder what score it'll be when I come back in an hour's time, Tuffers. And Allison's coming in here.
Well, who knows? As you say, nobody knows this day. All us pundits were sitting there thinking of scenarios, and this certainly, well, it was in there if perhaps Punt had got some runs and what have you, but not the way it's turned out. But England are hanging on, Ali. Afternoon.
Afternoon, step away for an hour and you come back and it's all changed, moved on even further, but things had started to feel a little more settled, hadn't they, with Root and Bairstow seeing England up to tea, and then another huge blow right on the cusp of the break. Butler facing up, 3 slips, short leg. In goes Brummer, passing the outside edge of the bat as he came forward defensively. Would carry through the healthy height to Rishabh Pant. It's a constant threat.
Well, it's a lovely position. It's a lovely position when you're in the bowling, as a bowling side and as a bowler. You know the batsmen aren't looking to score. You know the batsmen are just looking to survive, and you can go through your repertoires and your variations sort of free of any consequence in a funny sort of way.
Don't have to worry about conceding a boundary or anything like that. And Bumrah is in again. Butler defends, angles it out to the offside, finds it. With Shami there, and there's no run.
And you start playing on the mind of the batters. Little bit of chirp. Might not see you up at Headingley. Hope you're there, because if you are, I'm all over you again, and all this kind of stuff. It just weighs you down.
Every wicket has been met with almost a wild-eyed Virat Kohli. He's there at first slip again now. Bumrah in. Oh, it's a waft, and he's dropped it, Kohli. He's parried it at first slip. Wow, easy as you like. Can't believe that he's not held on. He can't believe it either. Butler's taken one, just as we were saying. Goodness me, England should be 6 down.
Is there anything else? Little bit of a sort of a cut stroke flick by Butler, short and wide out off stump, and that is a lovely height. That's head high. See it all the way, and it's just burst through the hands and gone over Kohli's head.
He can't believe he's blinking his eyes to say, I don't know how I missed that. Had to retrieve the ball. Well,
it was a good one off. He took a good one to get rid of Joe Root, but that was a big miss.
Around the wicket now to Moeen, who's defending a foolish length delivery on off stump. And Kohli is trying to clap his hands above his head, trying to re-encourage Bumrah again, in part apology and part trying to keep geeing up the side.
I mean, it's one of those ones, fingers up all the time in the world, travelling at a lovely height, nice and sort of straight, wasn't dipping, wasn't gathering pace, just burst through the fingers.
Reminiscent of the Shane Warne drop last day of the Oval 2005 off Peterson.
Yes.
Similar to that, yeah.
A real flash from Butler, high above the waist. Moeen getting right in behind that one. High front elbow, right in front of the stumps.
Now, is that a little bit of something that's just gone England's way, perhaps?
Well,
Who
there's
knows?
been a couple of misses, hasn't there?
Oh, yes, well, Hamid.
There was Hamid dropped early on Rohit when he was on 3 or 4 at that stage.
Yeah, Hamid was on 4.
Yeah.
Root was on 21 when a very tough chance of Rishabh Pant down the leg side.
That's the diving chance, wasn't it? Didn't really get near it. But then he fell first over after tea. Forward, Moeen defending once more, and Bumrah picks up. 75 for 5 at the end of the over. Should be 6. Virat Kohli dropping Joss Butler. Very rare to see such a chance put down, particularly by Kohli. Held on, sorry, to dismiss Joe Root in that first over after tea. So, oh wow, it's been an incredible action-packed day, hasn't it, Tubbs? It feels a long time ago that we were. Well, I was interviewing Mark Wood at the start of the day down on the boundary.
Yes.
Talking about how they would be looking to get Rishabh Pant early, which England did. Not imagining it would be the 9th wicket stand that would put India in a position of strength. Butler facing up again now to Ishant, clipped into the onside, a half stop, takes some pace off the ball at mid-wicket, and there's no run. Now, is there a Mexican wave going around the ground that's gone below us and I can't see? There's an awful lot of unrest going on in the crowd at the moment.
I think it's a vocal.
Oh, it is a Mexican wave.
It is, yes.
It was beneath us. It had to be with that wave of sound.
There we go, it's coming round to the pavilion. What do you reckon? No chance.
No. Although, a few.
Yeah.
The lower reaches. Well, what do you know? It's a people's Monday after all. Ishant into Butler, 2 slips, a forward short leg, bat and pad behind square on the leg side. There's a fielder there as well. Tell you what, 100 matches at Lord's have a healthy Mexican wave sweeping through the pavilion.
Do they?
Yes. Yeah, relax the dress code at Lord's for 100 matches, which is one thing.
Whatever next.
The age restriction lifted as well. A lot more youngsters in the pavilion as well as guests.
Because it's usually minimum 80, isn't it?
There's a few empty benches at the front of the Lord's pavilion. Also, keep the benches either side of the steps clear for the players in COVID, give them a little bit of distance.
Well, they've got value for money today.
Absolutely. Deep into the evening session, Ishant outside the off stump, a little bit of shape back up the hill as it passed Butler. He left it alone. Rishabh Pant tosses the ball away. Butler's faced 15 balls now, and Moeen Ali 15 balls. Mo's just leaning on his bat handle at the non-striker's end. He said he has really enjoyed his return to the Test fold after that 50-run partnership with Joe Root, and then wickets as well, in particular beautiful ball to dismiss Jadeja.
It's a crackerjack.
But he just pinpointed the most important thing for him on his return to the side was just to make sure he was enjoying it.
Well,
I'm not sure that the situation as it is now, how the enjoyment levels sit. But
no, but he's a calm.
Yes.
He's a very calm man. As you said, he's just sitting there resting on his bat.
Close catcher in at short extra cover now as well, but full in on the toes of Butler and comes forward, defends. Back up the pitch, and there is no run. Mexican wave is still sweeping its way around the ground. I reckon it's on for a 4th run here, Tuffers.
Oh no, I've never seen anything like it here.
It's losing a little bit of energy. Come on, the Allen stand. Sweeps under the scoreboard. Is it going to reach the pavilion again? Oh no, I think the pavilion's just...
They've had enough.
They've given up. They've given up. Oh, the grandstand have picked it up again. Well played, the grandstand. Keep that energy going.
Well, it's working for India.
England 75 for 5, another 33 overs in the day. Pushing forward, Butler finds points and a dot ball. A couple more to come, one more to come now from Ishant Sharma in this over. He's got his hands on his hips, walking very slowly back to his mark now. Actually, real urgency suddenly from India in the field. They're pushing and pushing for a victory here. 5 more wickets, that's all they need. 5 good balls, 5 catches held. LBW shouts. Where are they going to come from? Long time yet for England to bat through. Sam Curran due in next, then Ollie Robinson. Mark Wood, how's his shoulder to come out and bat? I'm not sure, are we? He did bowl today, but then did leave the field towards the end of the India innings. Sharma in, short ball, ducking underneath it. Butler and evades it safely as the ball lands in the gloves of Rishabh Pant. 75 for 5 then at the end of the over. Target set at 272 when Kohli declared on 298 for 8. What a luxury that was to have the decision in his hands to make.
Well, who would have thought it this morning?
He was animated from the dressing room balcony many a time, wasn't he? Encouraging.
Did you see all of the team clapping him in the long room?
It was as if they were both Centurions, wasn't it? Marching in from the field. But they were the heroes for India.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
The entire fielding side come down. I mean, maybe perhaps at the end of a match, maybe.
Perhaps,
when the match has been won. Put them in a position of strength to push for the win, which is what they're doing now. New over, Bumrah around the wicket to Moeen, shoulders, arms. Goes through to Rishabh Pant, 3 slips in play. Floodlights on, still murky skies here. A little bit of lightness. I have a feeling that the forecasters really set for it to lighten up a fraction rather than go the other way, but you just never know. It's been very changeable here, and of course bad light did bring an fractionally early close yesterday. Evening, Michael.
Good evening. Yeah, the weather may save India again.
Save England, yeah. 75 for 5, Moeen on 4. He's been out there for 16 balls, facing to Bumrah, defending a ball solidly, again on that off stump. Does exude calmness at the moment, Moeen. That's what is needed out there.
Yeah, but the problem with saying that, Ali, I felt that quite a few times in the space of 28.2 overs into the England second innings.
Then something happens.
Yeah, Joe Root looked great. Snick. Aseem Hamid looked fine for a while, and then he got that LBW. Johnny Bairstow looked fine, and he got up LBW just before tea. They're going to put square leg on the boundary too. I think they'll probably target him with a few more short balls, a short leg, a leg gully.
How about that drop from Virat Kohli though? I don't see that too often.
No, it's a bad one.
Moeen facing up then, 2 slips now. Short leg, deep backward square, going full stilt around the wicket, honing it in on Moeen's pads on his stumps. Keeps it out. I'd wondered if Virat Kohli just got a little bit unnerved by this invader who ran on the pitch towards him as they came back out just after the tea interval, because Kohli sort of had to run away to evade him almost, but then the catch came to him, didn't it, off Joe Root, and he held that utterly safely. He looked a little bit unnerved by that event. Bumrah in on the off stump, Moeen getting his head right over the ball again, defending into the offside, and no run. But then a chance which looked more straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, it was a flashing blade of Jos Buttler. Fingers pointed towards the sky around shoulder height. He would have expected to catch that. When you think England are 75 for 5 and 3 catches have gone down.
What it could have been. Well, Hamid didn't add too many more after he was dropped on 4. There's a missed chance. Root was on 21, went on to make 33. Still another 32 overs in the day. Bumrah rushing into Moeen. He's passing the outside edge. As Moeen has played down the inside line. He pressed forward defensively. The ball's gone through to Rishabh Pant. Floodlights every now and again just take a bit more of an effect, and the shadows appear around the feet. Inky. You can give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
What is the forecast? What are we talking?
Well, not getting rain.
No rain, but getting darker, I presume.
Well, I thought that it was actually for some of the clouds to clear away and it to get a little bit better. The wind seems to be blowing the clouds away to our left as we look out down the ground. Full defended once more, rolling up to the onside. But every now and again, that's the end of the over, 75 for 5. As a darker cloud comes over and you feel like the floodlights take a stronger effect, but then it changes once more. So
yeah, it looks like Shami's going to replace Sharma. I just wonder whether it might be worth Virat Kohli trying Jadeja to Moeen Ali from the nursery stand. You see all the footholes outside the left-handers off stump. So there's a lot more for Jadeja to aim into to left-handers. I think Sam Curran's in next. He's on a golden pair. He got a good one in the first innings. It's going to be Shami.
Yeah, it was Sharma, wasn't it, who got Sam Curran caught in the slip cordon in the first innings.
Chamannder Spelway, Ishant Sharma either side of tee, 2 for 7 from 7 overs with 2 maidens.
I'm predicting that the light will come in and India will have to bowl the spinners and Virat Kohli will have to bowl from the pavilion end, because there's no one really in the top 6 from India that can bowl anything, and Virat bowls these lollipops, doesn't he? Slow little in-swingers.
It could, happen. Here is Shami back on from the nursery end. Carry through to Rishabh Pant, but left well alone by Jos Buttler. Didn't need to play. Got the 3 slips there and a forward short leg again for Buttler, as well as a mid-wicket.
Quite interesting today, Ali, because India, I know they've got only a short amount of time out in the field, so they're giving it everything, but the ball's definitely fizzed through to Rishabh Pant more.
Yeah.
And you think the snicks have carried? Been a number of snicks this week that have just gone straight into the turf because of the slow nature of the pitch. Whether it's just got a little bit quicker or they're just giving it a little bit more.
But bowling with real gusto, that's for sure. Defended on the off stump. Out to Siraj at points. Joe Root had the heavy roller on, didn't he? At the point of the declaration. That just would have been to try and flatten out any... I mean, every now and again there's a little bit of uneven bounce maybe, but you just wanted the pitch to deaden out a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly didn't help, did it? I don't know quite what the rollers do, actually.
Says Michael Vaughan, Ashes winning captain.
I've always been a bit confused by the rollers. Well, you think about the first over, and Roy Burns got a couple that spat off for length.
In goes Shami, full and straight, defended. Butler coming forward to it. How do you reckon Butler has looked? 21 balls he's been out there.
Okay, I think he's just fighting a bit of rhythm and a bit of timing, working a bit with his trigger. And he's had that, obviously, bit of fortune with the flashing blade caught, or dropped at first slip. Big innings this for Jos Buttler, I feel.
Well, who's going to put their hand up for England? Somebody could be a match saver here. Could be either one of these two. Could be Moeen and Butler in partnership, but that is a beauty from Shami. If it's too many more like that, it won't be lasting too much longer, because Butler again came forward, pushed forward defensively, and the ball skimmed past the outside edge of the bat.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to when India were batting, Jos Buttler had a few animated chats, didn't he? There was a little bit of chirp going on with Butler and Bumrah and Shami. You can see out there now there's a bit of noise. It's very unlike Butler. I don't see him as the kind of player that gets involved with too much chirp.
Well, so it's the quietly spoken ones you've got to look out for. Shami in. He left it alone this time, Butler, but similar delivery, moving away fraction. Rishabh Pant didn't take that one cleanly.
Bit of swing there.
Yeah.
Bit of out swing.
Stung on the hand, actually, Rishabh Pant. He's taken his glove off, shaking out his right hand a little bit.
And when that intruder came on just at tea time, understandably Virat Kohli was running out of the way, because you just never know. And Rishabh Pant was just laughing his head off. He was laughing at the captain.
It did seem to be sort of running in a quite a targeted fashion, that intruder. I could almost understand why Virat was running away. Shami in, defended again by Butler, honing in on his pads. Forward once again. So Butler stays on 3 at the end of the over. Maiden 75 for 5. India needing 5 more wickets to win. They've got 30 more overs in which to get the Michael, or England have got to bat that out to save the game. Simon Mann is about to come in for me.
Yeah, I get a feeling that England might need a little bit of help from above. There's a lot of overs left. They've only batted half the overs so far, and they've lost 5 wickets, and they've got another 30 to go. I just feel that they may rely on the clouds above us to be a bit darker and get a bit gloomier. And certainly have got a great chance of going 1-0 up in the series. Great cricket, isn't it, Simon?
It is. I thought you meant a miracle for a moment, Michael, rather than help from the clouds when you said help from above.
I don't know why they've got cover point on the boundary to Moeen Ali. Why would that be? I mean,
I got no idea.
Why would you want to give him a single, an easy single? He could easily hit one to cover point as well and get a catch.
75 for 5 then, 30 overs left. Here is Bumrah into bowl to Moeen, and Moeen comes forward and dabs it into the offside to a big gap. And he gets a single, 76 for 5. The run's immaterial, although it's useful to keep ticking the bowling over and not having to face every single ball of an over, just rotating the strike.
Well, I reckon that can only be that Bumrah wants to bowl at Butler. Because mid-off went a bit deeper, cover point went on the boundary, square leg went on the boundary, just thought, I'll bowl you a full one, get off strike. Bumrah clearly feels that he's got a little bit of the wool over Jos Buttler at the minute.
How many times he got him in the series? Thacker got him in the second innings, and at Trent Bridge where he left it. Let's have a quick look. There's Butler. Ishant Sharma got him in this test match in the first innings. But here is Bumrah bowling to Butler, who there's a strange shot there. He seemed to lose his balance as he poked forward there. Anyway, he played it back down the pitch, and there's no run.
I just wonder whether it's because of that confrontation. Bumrah just wants to bowl it because he had a few words when Bumrah was batting.
He has got him out 3 times in Test cricket for 93 runs, so a little below Butler's career average.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chat out there the last couple of days. There was some earlier. Butler was getting involved with Bumrah. Bumrah bowls to Butler outside the off stump. Butler leaves it. And of course, he did create the chance not so long ago, and Kohli dropped it at first slip. And India have not caught well. Rohit's dropped one, Pant's dropped a difficult one, and Kohli's dropped one as well.
Where does this rank, Simon, for you in terms of days? You've watched a bit of English cricket.
It's something we've been discussing off air, and a lot of people comment. I saw one person on the BBC Sport website, when they do the text commentary.
Yeah.
Here's Bumrah from the pavilion end. Goes in past umpire Illingworth and bowls to Butler. Butler leaves that ball outside the off stump, coming back down the slope, taken by Pant, who said, "I know it's not done yet, but this must rank as one of the worst days in English cricket history." So that first test back in 1877.
That didn't go too well.
No. that's the thing. We haven't seen it all, but I used to watch a lot in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
It's up there though, Simon, isn't it? If there's 5 wickets fall here.
This is Bumrah to bowl to Butler, and Butler plays defensively into the offside, and there's no run. Well, that's it. If the wickets go, if they don't, then they escape. It's 0-0 with 3 tests to go, and you say, well, they played well, they resisted, and what you might end up with is some sort of heroic resistance at the end, and we'll remember that rather than what came before it. But
they are the great entertainers, though, aren't they? Yeah. The England Test match team, they're a great team to watch. They're not a great team, but they're a great team to watch.
They have been. I think the point is, in the 21st century, generally, they have been a pretty good side, haven't they?
I'm just talking about this era. The last few years, they've been really good team to watch because you've had, real big moments.
Bumrah bowls, Butler goes forward and plays it back up the offside of the pitch, and there is no run. Butler survives that over. There are 29 overs left, and England are 76 for 5.
Tom, Virat Kohli's catching, according to the CricViz database, in the last 5 years of Test cricket. So I've gone back to the start of the 2016 summer in England, so just over 5 years. That's a 19th chance that he's dropped out of the 72 that he's had, and his catch, his dropped percentage, is the 10th worst of the 35 fielders who've had at least 25 chances in the field in that time. So those fielding stats are quite hard to interpret, because obviously if you're fielding it slip, your chances tend to be more difficult. But even so, he has put down a fair few over the years.
Doesn't also tell us about degree of difficulty of catch as well.
But if you are in the slips, you are deemed to be one of the better catchers.
Here's
so
Shami
catching them.
Going into bowl to Moeen, round the wicket. Moeen plays with resolute defence up towards mid-on. There's no run. I'm just going back on terrible days. I mean, there were days. I think you go back. There was a series, 1973, I think, when the West Indies got about 600 in a Test match. England lost by an innings. They were smashing it everywhere, and the wheels had fallen off. I mean, Test matches like that. There was
not many times you arrive on day 5.
No, and in control of the game.
England are favourites to win.
No, I think. Well, the obvious one, I suppose, in that one is here's Shami bowling to Moeen, and Moeen comes forward and plays defensively back up the offside of the pitch, and there is no run. Would be the David Gower, when David Gower declared, everyone was urging him to declare the night before, but he eventually declared half an hour into the final day of the Lord's Test match here against West Indies in 1984, and West Indies knocked him off for 1 down, 344. That was a bit unexpected. That wasn't quite in the plan for the day. So there's one, I suppose, where England were. I mean, you wouldn't have backed England to have lost that game. We wouldn't necessarily think they're going to win it, because West Indies are a very strong side, and you thought they'd probably bat out the last day, but they'd won it by 5:30, and stumps were drawn, and 9-wicket win, and on we go. So there's that one. Shami bowls short, and Moeen ducks underneath it. I mean, Alistair Cook talks about 2014 Sri Lanka at Headingley, where Angela Matthews made that 160, and he had that stand with Rangana Herath, where the game got away from England, and then they were. I bet if you look at it, I bet Sri Lanka was something like 130 ahead with 2 or 3 wickets left.
But to be fair, Angelo Matthews has got a decent Test average today. Jasprit Brummer walked out there with an average of 3.
Yeah.
Shami had an average of 8.
Yeah. And also the other thing is, both Shami and Bumrah were both out for naught, so they came in on a pair today, both of them. Here's Shami bowling. And Moeen gets an inside edge past his leg stump. It's going down towards the fine leg boundary before. Shami, we've seen that a few times in this match, stands in the middle of the pitch with his hands on his head. A streaky one from Moeen. and England go to 80 for 5. But so there with that one got out of control, and in the end England were chasing a massive score to win, and of course they lost in the last over of the day when Jimmy Anderson was bounced out from the penultimate ball of the match. Bogue was trying to leave that, and he got an inside edge on it.
I think he's fortunate they did hit the bat, because it came back down the slope. It was a very tight leave. It had missed the bat. It might have just ended up smashing into that off stump.
Shami tries again and bowls to Moeen outside the off stump, and there's no strike from Moeen. And in the 90s as well, I mean, just about every Lord's Saturday, it felt like in the 90s, you turn up, say on Ashes Test match, and England would be in the game, and you think if they could get early wickets.
That's the third day. This is the fifth day.
I know. I'm just giving you some examples of where the game suddenly gets away, and the Australia would come out, and the last 4 wickets would add about 300 or something like that. England would lose by an innings when you thought the game was really tight. This has been a beauty today for England. Here is Shami bowling to Moeen. Moeen's forward and playing that defensive into the offside. But there is time to do something about it, I suppose. With these two, how long have they been together now in this partnership, Andy?
9.5 overs.
Yeah, there we are. You see,
they're playing okay. I mean, there was times this morning that I reckon the England team, they've watched too much of the 100. Because to Bumrah, they had 100 fielders. They had Robinson, you bowl a few slow balls. They had 4 fielders on the offside boundary.
It was really bizarre.
It was bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have a man out of slog corner. Have one out of slog corner,
Absolutely.
but then squeeze Bumrah, bowl the top of off stump, bowl full. I don't know. Try and get him LBW, or occasionally drop one in short. But there were 6 fielders on the boundary at one stage.
Well, there he comes, Mohammad Siraj. He's always someone that seems to make things happen. He's already got a reputation for that in his infancy tests. Bowled so well in Australia. He's bowled well here in the first innings. He bowled well at Nottingham. Just seems to be that character, doesn't he? You throw in the ball and he'll just charge in for you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's that sort of cliched captain's dream, really. He wants to bowl. Here he is, outside the off stump, nothing from Buttler. Of course, we're talking at home tests, really. We're talking about wheels falling off in home test matches. It happened plenty of times abroad. NASA putting Australia in Brisbane, and them coming up with 350 for... Was it 350 for 1 or 350 for 2? It didn't really make much difference till the end of that first day. The game was over.
Yeah, that was a long day.
But it was that feeling of being in control. 182 for 8, and then here England are battling to save the game. Of course, the other thing as well, if India had been bowled out with a 210 lead, England could easily have happened to England. But it just felt that there was such a momentum shift. Siraj bowls, takes that past the outside edge of Buttler's bat. Buttler happy with the defensive shot. He holds the pose. Anyway, he missed it. That was the bottom line. That's all that matters.
Well, I think Siraj, of all the Indian quick bowlers to have bowled from the pavilion end, he's the one that I think you have to play the ball on and around that 5th stump line, because he has got so many balls jagging down the slopes, and that's why Buttler played that shot on that occasion. He was expecting the ball to come down the slope that little bit more.
Siraj runs in perfectly, bowls to Buttler, who leaves that, and that goes over the top of off stump. Siraj arms in the air, wheeling away.
That's Sam Curran thinking. He's on a golden pair. You got Ollie Robinson in next, and you got Mark Wood with his dodgy shoulder, Jimmy Anderson.
Well, at least there is a bit of batting to come. There have been thinner England tails than the one they've got for this match. Mind you, we thought that about India.
True.
They came out and showed something. Just got to show something from here as far as England are concerned. They've got to somehow survive. Siraj bowls outside the off stump. No stroke from Buttler. And through to the wicket-keeper. And just say, right, just write off this day. I mean, England, basically, they played really well for 3 days in this game.
Yeah.
To come back from 276 for 3 on the first day, I thought, well, India get 400 plus, they'll control the game, and England will be batting to stay in the game on the final day, but in a very different scenario. They'll be looking at 350, 400 to win or something like that. That's how I imagined it. Siraj bowls, Buttler drives for 4. Firm stroke through the offside, nice and confident, right out of the middle of the bat. Doesn't mean much in the context of the game, but it's just nice for confidence to play a shot like that, and warmly appreciated by the England supporters.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful shot, but it is a big innings for Jos Buttler. He's struggled so far in this series. You can see he's been struggling for a little bit of rhythm and timing. And we've seen it before in Test cricket that the more games that Jos Buttler plays in Test cricket, the more he gets used to that kind of rhythm of play. And this is a big innings for him.
Siraj bustling in, bowls to Buttler, who reaches for a drive there. And well, that's one of those where if that got him out, you'd think, why did he play a shot like that? But possibly it was because of the ball before, because he struck it so sweetly. So there's the other side of that. You can hit it nicely, but also you can get carried away. Anyway, he miscued it back up the pitch. There's no run. Buttler's on 7. He's been there for 35 balls, and really is not really the runs, it's the balls you use up in this situation. 7 from 35, and Moeen's been there for 28 balls for 9. It's 84 for 5. We've had 33 overs. There are 27 left.
Gentleman in the pavilion had a big mask on and his glasses over his mask. I don't know how he's watching the game.
What sort of mask?
Like a mask that we've all been wearing, but it was a rather large one.
I don't know, it's allowed in the pavilion, is it?
Well, a mask, you don't have to wear a mask.
Oh, I see, a COVID mask.
Yeah, COVID mask.
See, not like a... Here is Shami bowling. That's edge, just short second slip on the bounce. Well taken by Rohit. I thought you meant a sort of a David Beckham mask or a Wayne Rooney mask.
What, you're not allowed those in the pavilion?
Well, I wouldn't think so. Either. I'm sure someone would tap you on the shoulder.
Sneak one in your pocket.
Well, you could bring one in, but if you were spotted with one on, probably asked to take it off. Or a Virat Kohli mask.
That was a genuine outside edge that didn't carry.
Well, we've seen a lot of that in this Test match. The 2 that have carried have been dropped. Well, 2 of the 3 actually. Kohli did catch one. Get rid of Root straight after tea. Shami to Moeen. Moeen deflects that away. That was a straight ball homing in on leg stump, but he got the bat on it, guided it down towards fine leg, and they're through for a single. 85 for 5 in overcast conditions with the lights on. And we saw yesterday, what was it? We came off about 6:05.
Yeah, I reckon it's certainly getting to that stage of having a look at Jadeja into those footholes. Not quite, I reckon 2 or 3 spots outside the left-hander's off stump, which not quite inviting for the left-arm spinner.
Are you saying that because of the light, or just because it's time? It's time for that.
I think it's time for it. Left hand.
Shami bowls to Buttler. Buttler doesn't play at that one. Lets it go through again. Very close to off stump.
He's left a few recently. He's had his off stump, that dreaded sound.
Yeah, well, it happened to him at Trent Bridge in the second innings where he was bowled off stump. Let's have a look. Yeah, quite close.
Ooh, that's very close.
Oh, here's one from Joseph. Worst days for England. England love a bit of it. England supporters love a bit of this, don't they? Our worst days. In recent memory, Headingley Test in 2019. Bowled out for 67.
Yeah, but they won the game. It's all about the result. I guess being bowled out for... What did they get bowled out for against Ireland here?
Shami bowls full, Buttler defends into the offside. In other circumstances, he might have tried to blaze that through the offside for 4.
They were bowled out for 85. I think they were all out in the first session of the game, weren't they? Or maybe just after lunch. Tim Murtagh took a quick 5 for...
Yeah, that was a pretty bad day, wasn't it? That was quite... There's been quite a few.
Yeah, bad days, good days. It's why they're so entertaining to watch. You never quite know what they're going to come up with. There was that period though for a while where they were just bankers at home. They would pretty much win every Test match. And Shami in, turned away by Buttler through square leg for 1, possibly 2. Jadeja's after it. Best to keep it at 1 when he's onto it, and that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, they are. They're a team that offer plenty to the entertainment side of Test match cricket. I mean, New Zealand just recently was Joe Root's first series loss in the UK. So they generally don't lose at home, but they lose Test matches. Lost that game against the West Indies last summer. Could quite easily have lost to Pakistan at Old Trafford. That West Indies chase at Headingley a few years ago.
Yeah.
And Joe declared that that was an entertaining game.
Brilliant day's cricket though, especially if you're an Indian supporter. Shami bowls. Moeen turns that past short leg for one down the hill. They might get two here. They do. They're coming back for the second. And with the prospect of more drama to come, it could go right down to the last over here. England battling to avoid defeat. It's 88 for 5 at the moment.
I think Jimmy Anderson will get out there.
Well, he'll be desperately hoping he doesn't have to go out there, won't he?
I would hope so.
Yeah, desperately hoping.
I think if you're an England fan in the ground or listening, driving somewhere, and you hear Jimmy Anderson's name mentioned, from now till the end of this game, there's a concern.
And of course, he was the last man out in that Headingley test that we're talking about in 2014, when Matthews and Herath took the game away from England with that partnership. And of course, Moeen was involved as well. He played that brilliant 100. That's the best test innings he's played. It was a wonderful innings. It really was. I mean, it was a mixture of aggression and defence and dedication and glittering attack. Some of his cover driving was magnificent. Anderson bounced out from the penultimate ball of the game. There's a delay here because we've got the drinks on the field and the ground staff are out. They're quite dusty. You see the fifth day, of course. There might be something for Jadeja to work with. Might be worth giving him a go. Of course, the left-hander in next, Curran. So if you did have two left-handers in, ball into the rough outside the off stump.
Oh, I definitely think it's worth a go now. And also to Josh Butler, firing in straight. I was quite surprised actually when Jadeja bowled. He had quite a negative field. Virat Kohli, the field was spread. There was only one fielder close to the bat, whereas in this situation you can surround the bat.
Plenty of other live cricket at the moment. While we take a pause for the drinks break, Glamorgan are 191 for 5 in the 35th, chasing 290 in their Royal London semi-final to beat Essex. So that has the makings of a really good game there, good finish in that match. That's live on the BBC Sport website. And in the Women's 100, Southern Brave 115 for 3 against the Oval Invincibles. I'm not sure how many balls that is after. That is after their 100 balls. That's a strange score actually, after 100 balls, 115 for 3. Anyway, Isha can... That's live on the website as well. Isha's coming in to pick up the commentary once the action resumes, because the players are having their drinks break at the far end of the ground, with India still with realistic hopes of winning this test match. Butler and Moeen Ali have resisted for a while. Moeen's taking a drink. He's down on his knees there. I think he's eating, perhaps eating a banana or something like that to give him a bit of extra strength for these next few overs. Some brightness away to the right hand side, some natural brightness. And well, time for everyone to pause really and consider what we've got ahead of us, and then for everyone to go again. There's a big hour or so coming up in this test match, and indeed in this series, with India looking to go one up with 3 to play. Isha, all yours.
Thanks, Phil. Sorry, Simon. I've forgotten his name a couple of times today. Well, it was actually just the once, but I do know who you are, Simon. That women's game is an interesting one. If the Oval Invincibles win that one, then they go to 11 points. No, that's not right. They go to... Yeah, they do go to 11 points. And so it would be hard to catch them in second. And the game tomorrow will be an interesting one that we are covering on BBC TV. Northern Superchargers against Birmingham Phoenix, with a chance to finish in that top 3 spot. Finals day here at Lord's on the 21st of August, of course. We had a fantastic day on Saturday when we had the Lord's Test, full house here, to watch Joe Root. The score is 180 not out. And then over the river, down in South London at the Oval, it was a full house for the 100, both the men's and the women's games in the London Derby. Cricket everywhere, as India will resume searching for these final 5 wickets. 26 overs left in the day. As Simon mentioned, a bit of brightness now over to our right. The lights are still on.
Grey clouds above us as Siraj is in and defended by Jos Buttler off the front foot. Not a lot of foot movement as he scratches away at the crease. And India had England in a very tricky spot at 88 for 5, taking Johnny Bairstow into the tea break. Lost Joe Root in the first over after the interval. Tails were up, they were smelling blood, but these two have calmly gone about their work. 2 slips in position of short leg and a catching mid-wicket for Buttler as Siraj is in again. Buttler allows it to go past him outside the off stump through the channel.
Yeah, Isha, you mentioned about 26, but to be realistic here, I think what India needs to think about is maybe 20 overs, keeping in mind bad light and everything else. Maybe just not look at 26, just look at 20. On 18-20, and that's where that dropped opportunity by Virat, that might just cost India.
Plenty of Indian fans dotted around here at Lord's. Siraj is in again to Buttler, this time covering the ball on around middle stump. And they're playing it out in front of him. Buttler on 8 of 41 deliveries, Ali on 12 of 31. It's amazing, isn't it, when you think of Moeen Ali, who's just been playing a lot of limited overs cricket of late, just 2 red ball games in the last couple of years, and he's thrown into the mix.
Test of character, isn't it? Temperament and character. Yes, I mean, he's played a lot of test matches red ball cricket before.
As Siraj just past the stumps, Buttler, well, he plays the ball inside the line as a half appeal. It beats the edge. There wasn't any edge on it as it goes through to Rishabh Pant.
Yeah, but what an effort this has been from Jos Buttler and Moeen Ali. And both of them are natural stroke players. I mean, what they are doing right now is so not them. Another brilliant delivery from Mohammad Siraj. It's probing that line outside off stump.
A slip in position and a sort of silly second slip as Siraj is in again. This time Buttler comes forwards but allows it to go past again. Slightly fuller from Siraj. He does tend to bowl that fuller length when he gets the ball swinging. It's not swinging so much here, but that's where I think he can be really dangerous. He bowls good pace, but it's that length that he creates that draws batters into the stroke. He can also pepper you with a short ball as well. So I wonder if there's a surprise short ball coming at some stage. As Buttler taps his bat down gently, now picks it up, still in his crease, shoulder shimmy, and then works the ball to mid-on off the front foot. Has to be careful there, because if he turns it around the corner, it could very easily find that catching mid-wicket. So end of the over, a probing one from Mohammad Siraj, 88 for 5, target of 272, which England aren't even thinking about. 25 overs remaining in the day. Andy?
Well, this part of the innings has been tough to take wickets in throughout this match. Between overs 26 and 70 in the 3 innings combined, or including 4, including this one, only 3 wickets have fallen in the game. 2 in India's first innings, 1 in England's first innings. And there were no wickets in that part of the innings as Pujara and Rahane batted dourly yesterday. So it's been hard to take wickets with the older ball so far.
Okay. And that's probably why Virat Kohli's decided to go back to spin. Jadeja into the attack from the nursery end. The sun is poking through here at Lord's. You can feel the warmth coming through here into the commentary box. Slip in place. Bowling to Moeen Ali with a short leg and a leg slip as well as it beats the edge. Well, they've gone up for the appeal. Jadeja thinks it's out. Moeen Ali steps back, given not out by Michael Goff. 3 reviews remaining, and Virat Kohli's taking it upstairs.
No point, it's a no ball. No ball.
Well, there you go. So this is interesting. It's been deemed a no ball by Richard Kettleborough, but he's allowed them to go up for the review first.
So what happens to the review now then? Do India lose the review?
I think they do. Do they?
I'm not sure, but I don't think they'll lose the review.
Because the no ball happened before the review was taken.
It did look like he might have nicked it though.
And the decision for no ball would have been made before the review was taken as Moeen Ali is propping forwards. It bounces off a length and hits him to the top part of the pad into his stomach and onto the floor.
Yeah, this point in time wouldn't mind a silly point as well.
Moeen Ali this time coming forwards, looks uncomfortable as he tries to play that. He was shaping to play the sweep, hits him on the back part of the arm and then falls again out in front over to the offside. There is a man out at deep backwards square about 30 metres off the boundary as Jadeja is in again to Ali, who turns the ball past short leg out to deep square for a single, gets off strike.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there was any edge on that. Because obviously Jadeja, as always, was very, very confident, but Rishabh wasn't that much.
Clouds just swaying above us and blocking that sun once more as Jadeja is in to Buttler, who's forward and blocking the ball to the offside. He's got 2 slips in position and a silly point. 24.2 overs remaining as Jadeja is through his action. Buttler smothers the ball to the offside, coming right forwards, that left foot, bat and pad together. As Jadeja's going to try a change of angle over the wicket as silly point comes across. Pujara in that position at short leg. Fine leg has just moved slightly finer. The left armour is through, leaves the ball. Does Jos Buttler looking to pad the ball away? It hits the front part of it and flies up to first slip, but it pitches outside the line of leg stump.
But that also was very close to Jos Buttler's gloves.
Oof, that was very close to bowling him. In fact, it hits the back leg. If that pad hadn't got in the way, that might have gone on to hit the stumps. 90 for 5. England then here at Lord's. Day 5, the final session. 24 overs remaining. This is what it comes down to. You just think back to that Virat Kohli drop off the bowling of Jasprit Bumrah. Jos Buttler on strike. How many overs ago was that, Andy?
That was in the 27th over, so 9.5 overs ago. From the Hamid drop to his wicket, that was a 10 over weight. And Root, although a very tough chance to Rishabh Pant, that was another 6 overs to get him out.
Buttler and Ali trying to navigate England to safety. 2 slips and a gully in position for Siraj from the pavilion end. Leaves the ball. Moeen Ali, as it's angled across him, he did think about playing and then brought the bat inside.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Siraj coming round the wicket for Moeen Ali as well. I mean, it's not a bad idea coming over the wicket for Moeen Ali, but coming round the wicket, bowling from the pavilion end, it's change of angle.
The Indian flag blowing above the pavilion. Independence Day yesterday, of course, as Siraj pushes forwards. Here he comes now into his stride. Ali beats the edge again. He's coming forwards. It's a good length delivery and just leaves him down the slope through to Rishabh Pant.
But it's been impressive for Moeen Ali as well. As you mentioned, this is only his 2nd game, red ball game since, 2 years now, Andy?
Since September of 2019, so almost 2 years.
Staggering, really.
And one of them was a test match in India.
As he taps his bat down now, open stance to Siraj, right armour bowling over the wicket. Sun is out as Ali allows that one to go past this time. Slightly wider from Siraj, angled across.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if Siraj is going to bowl over the wicket, Moeen Ali can play the angle. He can leave more deliveries like he's looking to at this point in time. The moment he comes round the wicket, he will force Moeen Ali to play at a lot more deliveries.
According to the Cricinfo text commentary, the replay did show there was an edge on the no ball.
Oh, Lord.
So a couple of mistakes in this final session for India. Has it cost them a win? As again it goes past the edge of Moeen Ali looking to defend the ball off a good length. Mohammad Siraj cannot believe it. He comes in with so much energy, hangs his head back at the end of the over. 90 for 5 then. In fact, sorry, it's 2 balls left. He's getting that scrambled seam going as it pitches and leaves Moeen Ali down the slope again. I'm getting ahead of myself. 2 more balls left in the over. Lights still on here at Lord's. Grey clouds in the distance over in Maida Vale. They look like they're pushing this way. But currently sun-drenched here at Lord's as Moeen Ali defends this time, gets full bat on ball out in front of him to the offside. It's a gentle push forwards, high elbow and an angled bat down onto the ball. All that backyard cricket that he played growing up in Birmingham, trying to keep the ball out. He's now using it in the middle in this pressure situation, the cauldron of Test cricket. Bat hovering above the stumps. The left-handed Moeen Ali again tries to have a go at the ball, misses it once more. And again, Mohammad Siraj comes through, hangs his head back, and now Moeen Ali's shaking his head. At the end of the over, 90 for 5, and then 23 overs left in the day.
Now, you mentioned about Moeen Ali and him growing up and playing cricket in his background. All of us are products of that, isn't it? Where we've learnt our cricket. It's backyard, or for example, just reading somewhere a while ago, Bumrah and his short run-up, because he used to play a lot of this street cricket back in India.
Yeah.
And the lane that he would play wouldn't have enough space for him to like run up and have a proper run-up. So he's so used to now bowling the shorter run-up.
Hence the shuffle as Jadeja bowls full to Buttler, who blocks it back down the pitch. Just opening himself up a little bit there, Buttler. 2 slips in position and a short leg to the left arm spin of Ravi Jadeja, who comes in now, tosses it up, pads the ball away, pitching outside the leg stump, and it finds its way to point.
My point is there is a short extra cover, there's a cover, there's a mid-off. Just pick one of them up and put him at silly point.
Buttler crouches this time forwards and getting right over the ball to stop it. No run. Where did you grow up playing, Deep?
After the Jadeja over.
Yeah, that's a good point. 3 balls left as Buttler squeezes that one out. Slightly filler again, angled in towards off stump. No run. As Jadeja, change of angle round the wicket. Silly point has come into play. Buttler tucks his bat down, crouches, finds the outer part of the bat, diving Rohit Sharma to his right at second slip. No run. Falls in front of him as Jos Buttler plays it late. He's not pushing at the ball. Again, Jadeja in, past the stumps. Buttler this time finds the inside edge as he's forwards and working the ball to square leg, fine leg. Ishant Sharma there, rushes in to collect the ball. 90 for 5. 22 overs remaining in the day. And India need 5 wickets for victory.
Yeah, I actually spend a lot of time on my own because my elder brother's 9 years elder to me, so didn't have too many friends around and stuff like that. So during vacation and all, I would be actually throwing a tennis ball at a wall, and with a stump or just a stick, forget the stump, a stick, would defend and create a competition where if I hit the wall on the full, I would get out, and if there are 2 bounces, there are 2 runs, 1 bounce would be 1 run, and would create this game. And maybe that's the reason I was all right with my defensive technique, not as much with my attacking technique though.
So Donald Bradman style.
Well,
with the stump and the ball, or the golf ball he used to use. As Mohammad Siraj is in from the pavilion end, searching for a wicket. Moeen Ali edges, and it's taken this time. Virat Kohli diving to his right. He launches the ball up in the air, punches the air now. Siraj has his man. He was probing away the over before, and Moeen Ali, his defences can't protect him as he has a little feel outside the off stump, angled across. Leans forwards does Virat Kohli, as it reaches him hip height. And that's the breakthrough India wanted. Ali and Butler had occupied the crease for a little while there. 42 balls Moeen Ali faced for his 13. 90 for 6 then England. India need 4 more wickets to win with just under 22 overs remaining in the day.
It's a wonderful delivery. Again, coming over the wicket and angling that away from Moeen. But the length this time was absolutely perfect. Moeen didn't do much wrong with that. He still went and didn't push at it. With one of those deliveries as a batter, you just got to say, well bowled, and move on, because that was a really, really good one. And as you mentioned, what a time to get a wicket. Needed it desperately, India, to break this partnership. Less than 22, you said? I'm saying 15 more overs. Let's just look at 15 overs.
But the partnership there lasted 15.4 overs. And Siraj in the previous over beat Moeen 3 times in 5 balls. Finally got the edge with the 4th of those.
Here comes Sam Curran. Here at Lord's, bat underneath his arm as he comes now to punch gloves with Jos Buttler. Big moment in the game, you would feel. Jos Buttler, he was dropped a little while ago, but this time Kohli pouching the ball. They'll still believe they can get these final 4. It's just 4 deliveries. That's what they'll be saying to each other. 3 slips and a gully in position for the left-handed Sam Curran then. He settles himself at the nursery end, marking his guard on middle stump. We've got a great vantage point here to see where they mark their guards at Lord's. As Siraj will operate over the wicket. He's got a point, a wide-ish mid-on, and fine leg, as well as a catching mid-wicket. The sun coming and going here at Lord's. This time it's cloud cover as Siraj is in, bowling quick and edged, 2 and 2. He's off. He's running towards fine leg. His team are chasing him down. Sam Curran out first ball. Mohammad Siraj on a hat trick here at Lord's. And a king pair for Sam Curran, as he is disconsolate walking off the field here at the home of cricket. And what a stat, the first ever king pair at Lord's.
Yes, the 4th for England in all tests. Jimmy Anderson had one. And you've got to go back to the pre-First World War. Attewell and Hayes against Australia and South Africa, respectively. The most recent one in England, Virender Sehwag in 2011 at Edgbaston.
3 more to go, 3 more to go. And Siraj is on a hat-trick here. Wonderful delivery again. No footwork. It's always difficult for someone like Sam Curran to come on and bat in these kind of situation. A naturally attacking batter. Feathers this one to Rishabh. Mohammad Siraj, what a test match he's having. And what a talent. 3 more wickets here, Isha.
Wow, there's no greater feeling as a bowler. He's off. He was off. The team with him, they had to wait a little while there for that wicket, and then 1 brings 2 here at Lord's. The sun is just coming out again, as it's a slow walk for Ollie Robinson.
It's the 3rd hat-trick ball of the match, Siraj's 2nd. As we mentioned, the first innings, only 3 hat-tricks for India in Test cricket. Harbhajan Singh, Irfan Pathan and Jasprit Bumrah. There have been 46 in all.
The Indian flag blowing strongly above the pavilion, now just hanging limp. That breeze up and down, lights still on, and plenty of cloud cover. He's got that ball to talk.
There's only been 1 hat-trick at Lord's in Test. That was Jeff Griffin of South Africa in 1960.
Time for number 2. It's been a while now, Andy, isn't it? Come on, Isha. Full and straight, Siraj.
Well, 3 slips and a gully. Ollie Robinson is taking his time. The Indian fans are behind Siraj, standing at the top of his mark. Shadow in front of him. He's got a short leg, a man catching it mid-wicket, mid-on, wideish mid-off and fine leg. So Ollie Robinson, immense pressure here. Virat Kohli getting the crowd going again. Here comes Mohammad Siraj on a hat-trick. He bowls wide of the off-stump and an easy leave for Robinson. Well, what an anti-climax that was. Deep.
Seriously, I mean, we would expect him to at least hit the stumps. This was like way outside off, so it was like 7 stump. What was Mohammad Siraj thinking?
Virat Kohli, well, as we saw with the openers, he's just coming forwards a little bit and chirping. There's been plenty of spice between these two teams in this test match. Here he comes again then. Sonnen is back. Siraj past the stumps. Robinson struck on the body. A good length delivery that just veered off the pitch. He tries to get out of the way of it, and now Siraj is getting stuck into Ollie Robinson as Robinson advances to tap down on the pitch.
And it's not just Mohammad Siraj, actually. He's getting a lot of help from his teammates, whether it's Jadeja, Virat, Rishabh. Everyone's on Ollie Robinson right now.
Well, Jos Buttler watched the carnage unfold from the other end. He's just having a word. And now Virat Kohli to Michael Goff, the umpire, who has intervened. And he's now retreating back to square leg. Ollie Robinson adjusting his gloves and taking time. Heart pounding out of his chest at the moment, you would think. Siraj, tail up. Full of confidence. He's visualising it. He's visualising that ball pitching, hitting the top of off, catching the outside edge. Here he comes again then. Robinson taps his bat down, crouches, bat hovering. Siraj bowls. This time tucks it away, just past, short leg. Pujara chases after the ball. And they come back for 2. Robinson is off the mark. High drama here at Lord's. In fact, it was off his pad. It signalled leg byes. So Robinson still on naught.
Yep. Before the last delivery, saw Virat signalling Siraj to bowl a bouncer from where he is standing in first slip. Just keep an eye on Virat. He's going to keep signalling, telling Siraj what to do every delivery, it seems.
Siraj in again to Robinson this time, tucking the ball down to fine leg. Just leans forwards gently, comes through, and now he is off the mark with a single down the other end. But that is the end of the over, so he's nicked the strike. Ollie Robinson, 93 for 7. India need 3 wickets with 21 overs remaining in the day. Deep, a few words from you on that dramatic over, and then it will be Jonathan Agnew.
Well, it's all happening here. Wickets falling, chirping. Yeah, the umpire's getting involved as well. There's a little bit of a thought, Virat, whether to get his seamers back or not, but he's chucked the ball back at Jadeja. He's going to continue from the nursery end. It's going to be Ollie Robinson on strike. Yeah, it's a different kind of a challenge playing Jadeja.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen a test match with quite so much niggle going on out in the middle. It's there's a lot of verbling, and I don't know who started it, but you can tend to see the ones who may have been responsible, because Robinson is getting a lot there.
Come on, Aggers. You don't like the heat, don't get into the kitchen.
Yeah, but you know, the umpires put a stop to it. In goes Jadeja from over the wicket. Robinson forward, plays into the offside. I was thinking that with 3 tests still to go, it could get very lively. 93 for 7, England, as Robinson goes back and guides that away out to cover as a misfield. So he gets a single. 94 for 7. India need 3 wickets. The light at the moment is absolutely perfect. It's beautiful sunshine. And now Buttler takes his guard. 53 balls for his 8. He was dropped badly on 2. by Kohli at slip. Now one end is very much open. There's only Wood and Anderson to come as Jadeja bowls outside the leg stump, and Buttler just puts a pad there, allows the ball to strike it. And I think if those two batters are going to get a bit lively as well, because that was certainly sparky when they were bowling. Jadeja moves in, bowls a poor one down the leg side. Quite sure he's going over the wicket, but it's his preferred line of attack. But no, he's going to change now. It makes more sense to go around the wicket. 94 for 7, 3 wickets to win. Men crowding round the bat, slip gully. Man at silly point as well with a helmet on. It's Jadeja, left arm spin bowls. That's just patted away by Buttler. And there's one ball to go in this over. Try and find a single. I wonder if they're going to try and plug a gap or two here. And Pujara comes into the leg side, but only to short leg, so there are some gaps around. Jadeja moves in, bowls, and well, Buttler there absolutely smothered that, almost with a shout of good luck down the other end to Ollie Robinson, who didn't do much there to protect the number 9.
When Ishant Sharma was out this morning, India were just 181 ahead. They're now 177 ahead. So we're basically back to where we were, Aggers.
Is that right?
Just
right.
A few things have happened.
Well, lot's happened in there, isn't it? My word, it really has. I'll try and give you all a run through. I know people driving home and so on now will be wondering what earth's gone on here. You'll have heard my report this morning, no doubt. England likely to win. Unless Pant got some runs, I said. Well, he didn't.
How wrong were you?
But I'm afraid I glossed over the batting of Shami and Bumrah this morning. 94 for 7. Siraj on the way, bowls down the leg side. Robinson could do nothing with that. So they put on 89 for the 9th wicket. Pant was dismissed by Robinson. He also dismissed Sharma. As Andy was saying, with the lead 182, there's 2 wickets left, but they didn't get another one. And Kohli declared on 298 for 8, with Mohammad Shami averaging 11, 56 not out. Bumrah, career average 2.2, 34. Has he elevated that a bit? He elevated it slightly. Here's Siraj, and he bowls down the leg side, and Pant raised a glove there. He'd improved it in this series, hadn't he?
It was 2.2 at the start of the series.
Well, that's only a week ago.
Yes.
So a week ago, the man averaging 2.2 made 34 from 64 balls. And then Burns naught, Sibley naught. It was 1 for 2 in the second over. Burns caught at mid-off. Sibley edged a good one from Shami. Hamid hung around, but he got 9. It was LBW to Ishant Sharma. Bairstow out to the last ball before tea. LBW to Ishant Sharma for 2. There's Siraj bowling, and Robinson keeps that out, playing it away to mid-wicket. And then the third ball after tea, Root was caught by Kohli off Bumrah for 33. 67 for 5 the score then. Moeen hung around with Buttler for 16 overs. He was caught by Kohli at first slip off Siraj for 13. And then Sam Curran completed a king pair. So 2 first ballers in the game. I mean, he edged his first ball off Siraj and went for a golden duck. 94 for 7. England heading to defeat here. Incredible day's cricket. Siraj moves in and bowls. Robinson pushes into the offside. Buttler slow setting off, and the throw from point misses the stumps. So loads to watch. All the clips are there on the BBC Sport website, the app, and of course today at the Test is on BBC 2 from 7 o'clock. So you can catch up with everything there. I was going to ask you a question. So 3 first ballers in the match. What sort of territory are we in with that? You twitchy territory, mildly excitable territory, or nah?
Well, I'll dig around.
I was just thinking 3 first ballers. It's quite a lot from the same team.
It's the first ever king pair at Lord's.
Yeah. 95 for 7. Siraj comes in, bowls a wild bouncer. It almost went straight to leg slip. There's a wide. And there's an irony in that, because the ones that should have been called wides and all went for 4 byes go against Pant, but that one he actually managed to stop, and yet there wasn't any sort of a run of any kind, so it was definitely a wide. He's flinging himself everywhere.
Well, without extras, England would be 68 for 7.
Right. Butler's on 8. Short leg crouching there, leg slip. Siraj on the way, bowls to him, is forward, working that away into the leg side. 1 ball to go for Robinson to survive. It's 97 for 7. Butler 9 from 58 balls. Very out of character, but he was badly missed actually by Kohli. That slip when he had 2. Field all in now, 3 slips a gully, leg slip, short leg for the last ball of the over. Siraj in bright sunshine runs in from the pavilion end, is there, and he bowls down the leg side. He brushed something, bisects the gap between the keeper and leg slip, and they'll come back, I suspect, for 2 leg byes, but we'll see. Looking for a signal from the umpire, of which there is none. So came off the bat then.
Yeah, it did come off the bat.
Chance?
Yeah, it did, but didn't carry all the way to Jadeja.
Landed just in front of Jadeja at slip, leg slip. So 2 more runs to Robinson. Reached the dizzy heights of 5. And he and Butler are having a conversation, and change in bowling here. Jadeja's off. It probably makes sense with the left-hander having gone. And it's going to be Mohammad Shami, who's bowled beautifully. Swung the ball this way and that. Dismissed Sibley for 0. Who's going to come on from the nursery end. 99 for 7. Michael Vaughan's coming beside me. It's like rolling back the years to the mid-90s. A defeat like this, it's extraordinary. 2 slips, gully is fine. Shami's on his way. He's bowling to Jos Buttler, who defends the first ball, plays it to mid-on.
Are you giving England no chance from here?
What, winning?
Yeah, well, well, it's just fortunate that India have not been able to catch.
Well, I'm looking at the light, which is cleared.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It's very bright over there.
Required run rates over 9 and over now, Mike.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. You never
It's
know.
unlikely.
How do you think Jimmy's feeling?
I should think apprehensive. There'll be a reception committee waiting for him, I think. Next off from Shami's outside the off stump. Butler allows it to go by.
Well, I don't know Ollie Robinson that well, but I get a sense from studying from the commentary box that we don't necessarily get to hear a lot of the chirp. But I'm just kind of reading situations, and the fact that Virat met him.
I read it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, as he arrived, I think he might be quite a chirpy bowler.
I think so. There was definitely more than usual for Ollie Robinson. In fact, I think he had the whole Indian team round him.
Yeah.
99 for 7. Butler is on 9. Shami runs in, bowls to him. Oh, he keeps the bat just out of the way of that, but there's a last fraction of a second decision. Yes, it seems as they're ready for him. I think probably Jimmy will get something similar, but the umpires were in there. I was just saying, I mean, all this stuff, it's all a bit silly really, but not many test matches these days that get quite so spiky. Everyone knows each other. And,
yeah, there's something. I mean, this Indian team under Virat are quite a spicy team out in the middle. I think, England have it in them as well to be quite spicy.
Shami's on his way, bowls, Butler defends again, finds Pujara wearing the helmet. I think out of all the Indian team, Pujara is likely to be utterly blameless. I just cannot see him saying anything from there. He's a quiet chap. He's got the helmet on.
He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, I can't see him joining him.
Yeah. Who do you reckon the main culprits are, Virat?
I think Virat's probably in there. I think our old friend Siraj might have a few things to say.
And I think Rishabh's just a little bit cheeky. I think he just he joined in with England's fielding practice, didn't he? Was it on day 1 or day 2? He just thought he'd go and catch a few. I just think he's a friendly young chap.
Cheeky chap. 99 for 7. Butler on 9. Shami's on his way to him. Bowls! Oh my word, how's he got away with that? That's moved away down the slope. And how that didn't either bowl him or take the edge, I have no idea, and neither does Kohli.
That's clipped the stumps.
who ran away there at first slip in celebration of a wicket. And it went off at almost a right angle. I don't know how that missed the off stump or the outside edge of the bat.
I reckon this might have brushed the off stump. Oh, well, just by it. Beautiful bowling again.
Yeah.
Seam upright, just a little bit of movement. I mean, Siraj's spell to Moeen Ali was magnificent.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like fast off breaks.
Yeah.
Down the slope, about 84 miles an hour.
A lot of wobble seam going on and cross seam. Shami bowls, Butler's forward, head over this, plays it back. Means that Robinson will be on strike.
18 overs left, Aggers.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. That's
Well, these two could hang around.
Yeah, 108 deliveries. How many of those 108 does Butler have to face? 70? 60? Should we give him 60?
Yeah, I think so.
So that leaves 48. How much do you reckon Jimmy's got in his tank? 10?
I was going to say 12, actually.
12. Mark Wood?
About the same. Maybe 15.
Right, so maybe Joss doesn't have to face as many as I mentioned. You think Jimmy's got that many, do you? 12?
12? I think so. Left-handed.
I'm not so sure he's got 12.
You know.
No, I'm not confident about Jimmy. I think he's been roughed up a bit.
Well, that is true.
Mark Wood with a dodgy shoulder.
Right, okay. I'll get that message.
I think it's down to these two.
Kohli on the attack. He's bringing the men in. 4 slips, leg slip, forward short leg, field tight. Siraj bounces in and does bowler bouncer. It flies over Robinson's head and thwacks into Pant's gloves. Pujara claps his hands there at short leg. I hear him doing that. Robinson and Butler compare notes mid-pitch.
What about that ball that Robinson got from Siraj when he first arrived out? That one
Where'd that
flew
come
off the
from?
length. Whoa. It
And
was
those
like
balls?
the Pujara ball, wasn't it, from Wood yesterday?
What about Bairstow's first ball from Ishant Sharma?
Yeah, you like that one, didn't you?
That horrible. 99 for 7. Siraj on his way, bowls and Robinson drives him nicely, runs here for him. Probably get 3. Ball rolls into the shadows of the pavilion, and sure enough, 3 runs completed. And the 100 comes up. Standing ovation. Largely ironic applause. 102 for 7. India need 3 wickets to win. Overs remaining in the day. That's the figure to watch. 17.4. You can forget the light for the moment. It's blue sky over there. Siraj on his way. Bowls outside the off stump. That climbs. And Butler faces his 65th ball.
Yeah, 60.
For his 9. Dropped on 2.
Well, that's a big. I felt it was a huge moment. It may still end up being so. Virat Kohli, head high, first slip, spilled it. He's had a couple of good ones though. He's held on to Joe Root, Moeen Ali. 2 out of 3, Virat.
Yeah.
His celebrations are getting more and more like Imran Tahir.
Well, they are. 102 for 7. Siraj bowls. It's turned away just past leg slip. They come down for 4. Runs irrelevant. But you see why the man is there, because that ball is nipping down the slope. And that was a bit of a reflex prod from Butler. Flew very close to the man who's been placed there for that.
I reckon he's going to have 2 leg slips here, and he's going to put his fine leg in front of square, because obviously you can't have 3 fielders behind square on the leg side. Yeah, he's going to go for 2 leg slips.
There's Pujara's going around that.
Pujara's just minding his own business.
Oh, yeah.
He's just in a different game.
Very quiet. Yeah, so Shami has to go in front of square there, because you only have 2 behind square on the leg side these days after body line and everything else. 106 for 7. Here's Siraj and he bowls, and Butler fields for this and gets another couple. Running away down to gully. Well, they've taken the 2. I'm a little bit surprised at that.
Yeah, I think I'd have stayed down the other end if I was at Joss Butler. He's got to try and face as many balls as he possibly can out of this last 17.1 overs.
There's only 1 to go in this over, and he might well have stayed at that far end to leave Robinson just the 1. It's Kohli, I suspect, will put 1 or 2 or plug 1 or 2 gaps here. Pujara's heading out towards. Where's he going? Oh no, he's taking his helmet off. He's going to be in the same. Exactly, it's the same field actually. So there are some gaps around, especially in the offside. Siraj runs in, bowls, and Butler defends, playing slightly across the pad, or rolls away to mid-on. And that's the end of the over. So Burns 0, Sibley 0, Hamid 9, Root 33, Bairstow 2, Moeen 13, Sam Curran. Well, I'm afraid a king pair, which I don't see too often. Michael, some thoughts from you? In the next 20 minutes will be Simon Mann in here.
Yeah, who's coming on now? Is it? Well, it's going to be Shami to continue. You've got Sharma, Bumrah, all kind of congregating around the bowling end. All fancy having a bowl now. You just feel with Mohammad Shami, if he bowls a similar over to the last one, he's not going to be far off an outside edge. That slip cord and better get ready. They like this leg slip for Shami. A fine leg slip. Not too sure about that position. 3 slips in a gully. Good evening, Simon.
Hello, Michael. Here is Shami going into bowl outside the off stump on a chopping shot from Robinson. He was looking for 4 runs through backward point and he nearly nicked it through to the keeper.
Yeah, that's not a good shot.
Oh, not a good shot at all. There's so much chat going on out there.
It's lively, isn't it?
Can you share any of it with us, Simon?
No, I wish I could.
Family show.
I'd like to. Well, I could take a stab at it, but I mean, but Robinson was certainly greeted. I don't think it was Happy Christmas or anything like that when he came into bat, or Happy Birthday, or anything, Happy Mid-August Day, or anything like that.
Well, he's just looked behind. I think he's just copped a bit more.
Yeah. He's survived for 14 balls. There are 16 overs left after this. Here's Shami into bowl to Robinson, and Robinson turns that calmly into the onside forward of square.
They played well here against New Zealand with the bat in hand. Just look at the slip cordon that India have got. They've got 1, 2, 3 slips and a kind of a 5th slip. Fine gully, but they're so narrow. Watch Rohit Sharma, Simon, on that 2nd slip. Watch how close he is to Virat Kohli. Virat's hardly got a gap between.
Yeah, they are.
Rishabh Pant and Rohit Sharma is so minute.
100 balls available for India to win this match. Here's Shami bowling. That's down the leg side. Tries to glance. Robinson misses it. It's taken by Pant. And into the 100. 108 for 7. Here's a question for you, Michael. How many in the whole history of Test match cricket? How many teams do you think have declared their innings, their 3rd innings, after lunch on the final day and gone on to win? Just sort of take a stab.
It's not many, is it? I'm sure it's happened a few times in the subcontinent on dusty wickets, potentially, but
very good tweet from Andrew Sampson.
I'm going to guess 10.
Here is Shami from the nursery end, goes in and bowls to Robinson outside the off stump. Robinson leaves, and it's through to Pant. The answer is, drum roll, only one. Only one team has ever won, declaring their 3rd innings after lunch on the final day and gone on to win the game.
Wow, where was that?
And that was in Kandy in 1984. New Zealand beating Sri Lanka in the early days of Sri Lanka in Test cricket. That's
there you go.
Tweet from Andrew Sampson. So we could be witnessing the 2nd timer.
Well, the Omens are with England then, aren't they? Because it's only ever happened once before. So 16.2 overs remaining.
Shami bowls to Robinson. Robinson's back calmly in defence, playing away into the offside towards cover, and there's no run. I wonder what Wood and Anderson are thinking in that England dressing room.
I know exactly what they're thinking.
Please stay in.
Oh, Jimmy must be thinking, how have you lot not been able to bat all day? Not even half. Well, how many overs have they faced? 43.5 overs. How am I padded up now? 5:45 on a Monday night. Been here all week. And you're giving me a chance to go out there and try and survive to get us a draw in a Test match.
Shami bowls to Robinson. That's on the pads of Robinson, or down the leg side it ended up. He tried to turn it away, missed it, taken by Pant, and that's another over that's gone. So 16 overs left. The last hour will start at the end of the next over. So they could get more overs in the hour, but teams generally tend not to. There was that remarkable test match in Australia in '94 where the umpires hadn't realised that they bowled the overs, England, but they hadn't got to the end of the hour, so they called time. The players are walking off, and I think others pointed to his watch and said, hold on a second, when did we start the last hour? Because England needed 3 wickets to win that match. When did we start the last hour? The umpires looked, oh no, we haven't had an hour yet. So they went, they sort of went back to their positions again. Really bizarre end.
Yeah, Bumrah's coming back on to replace Siraj Virat Kohli. He's having a strong conversation now with Jos Buttler. I don't know what that quite means. I don't know quite what's going on there. I can almost think that someone like Buttler and Virat Kohli be quite pally from me. I know they're not in the same teams in the IPL, but they all seem to get on.
Well, Kohli, standing there chatting to him. I brought back Bumrah, especially for you, Jos. You can't play him. You struggled against him. He got you out at Trent Bridge. He's going to get you out again.
It actually was KL Rahul having a strong conversation with Jos, and then Ollie Robinson. Well, clearly words have been had.
So Bumrah back with 16 overs left, 108 for 7. Butler's been there for 68 balls. It's taking a long time to sort out the field.
Pujara's, he don't know where he's meant to be.
Well, I think
where do you want me?
I think the issue is where is the deep square leg in, because they don't want to have 3 behind square. There was a no ball earlier for 3 behind square. So Pujara has to come in front of square, obviously, and Shami has gone down to fine leg, and there's a leg slip in as well, Jadeja. So Buttler waits. Here is Bumrah going into bowl to him. He's with him now, and Buttler shapes to play and then lets that one go by outside the off stump. There's a determination out there from Buttler. There's been a lot of chat in this game, and he's been involved in some of it as well when England were in the field, as if to say, right, I'm giving you absolutely nothing. And you sense that there's a bit of that about Robinson as well as a character.
So they've got a bit of inner steel, haven't they?
Yeah. Doesn't mean that's going to take them over the line, but they are resisting at the moment. Bumrah to Buttler outside the off stump again, quite close to off stump. Good judgment from Buttler. Allows it to go through to Rishabh Pant. A day dominated by India, and they're looking to finish it off. And England looking to escape, really. I mean, who would have thought this morning that India would have been in a position to declare, and happy to do so. And actually, when you look back, you wonder whether they could have declared a bit earlier. In fact, if you look at the scoreboard, they could have declared overnight. They were 150...
Could have all been owned by now.
What were they? 154 ahead. Bumrah bowls to Buttler. Buttler in defence, head right over it, firmly back to the bowler. And Bumrah picks up and gives Buttler a stare. Butler's not looking, got head down.
Yeah, you're just ticking them off, aren't you, as a batting unit now. Ticking off the balls, ticking off the overs. Just hoping for Buttler to stay out there. Buttler goes, it's done. Pretty sure about that. India are just hoping for one of those balls to explode, I guess, or one to keep a bit low.
Bumrah moves into bowl to Buttler short. Buttler ducks underneath it. Pants spectacularly dives away to his left-hand side to take it. We're quite close to Jadeja at leg slip. If you haven't been with us all day, India 298 for 8 declared. A stand, incredibly, of 89 for the 9th wicket between Shami and Bumrah, both of whom came in on a pair. Shami made 56 off 70 balls, batted superbly, and Bumrah had some luck, rode it, and got to 34 not out, and by the end was looking very confident. So India declaring after lunch, and then the carnage started. Sibley and Burns both out for naught. Bumrah bowls to Buttler, edges just short of second slip. That went very quickly, squared him up, but it went down as it happens so often in this test match. Balls not carrying to slip. KL Rahul unlucky, just in front of him, did well to stop it. And then Hamid LBW for 9, Bairstow LBW Ishant for 2, 67 for 4 at tea. Just before tea, Bairstow out, root out straight after tea, caught by Kohli at slip off Bumrah for 33. Moeen resisted and then was caught at slip for 13, and Curran was out first ball. So king pair at Lords for Sam Curran. He got the king out, but he got a king pair. 108 for 7. Last ball of the over and then the final hour. India in search of 3 wickets. Bumrah bowls to Butler, and Butler edges for 4. Past second slip to the left of gully, hits the rope now. Crowd cheering, but the runs are irrelevant really. 112 for 7, and Butler moves to 19. Glamorgan are into the Royal London One Day Cup final. They've beaten Essex by 5 wickets.
I think there's just been a handshake there between Ollie Robinson and Virat Kohli. I don't know what's going on there. Something.
Have they agreed to make up?
Maybe it's just got too much, and Butler's said something. Said, "Look, come on, can't carry on like this." Just thought I saw a handshake between the pair of them there, but I'm sure the cameras will have picked it up if they did.
So drinks break. Everyone can again just take a deep breath, and then we go into the final straight, the home straight of this Test match. And so well done, Glamorgan, beating Essex into the final at Trent Bridge on Thursday, and as common tomorrow on Sports Extra and online, Durham up against Surrey in the second semi-final. That's from 10:55.
Alistair get any?
He got 60 odd.
60,
but in vain. Glamorgan winning by 5 wickets.
Had a good one-day campaign, hasn't he? Just putting his maybe hand up for
the next World Cup.
Yeah, get back in. Top of the order.
How about having him back for Headingley?
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Just going to see if the cameras have picked it up. I'm sure there was a handshake there between Robinson and Virat Kohli. It's not often that you see that if it did happen in game. You generally see that after the game, but I'm pretty sure there was a handshake. Andy, what have you got?
Well, further to Andrew Sampson's tweet about only one team having declared after lunch on the final day of a test and bowled the opposition out to win. If I've crunched Andrew's database correctly, in the last, since 1989, there's only been 2 tests in which England's opponents have been batting at the end of day 4 and then bowled out England on day 5 to win. They were both in New Zealand, Auckland in 2002 and Hamilton in 2008, and the last time in England was the Headingley test against Australia, the first test of the 1989 Ashes series.
A drinks break here, so Radio 4 Longwave listeners are going to depart for the shipping forecast and rejoin us shortly. 112 for 7. The teams breakaway, or India breakaway from their drinks huddle. And Robinson and Butler having a conversation there. Who's that? Who are the backroom team out there trying to give them some words of encouragement as they saunter off? Might be Overton, might be one of them.
As well as the 7 wickets falling, India have reprieved 4 England batsmen. Hamid dropped badly, it slipped by Rohit Sharma. Root, tough one down the leg side by Pant. Butler, fairly simple one by Kohli after he'd faced only 12 balls. He's now faced 74, and Moeen Ali caught off a no ball. So, could be worse.
Yeah, it hasn't been flawless from India today, but it has been, it really has been a sort of, I say, a champion team really putting their mark on the day. But I mean, they're not a champion team, are they? They lost the World Test Championship final, but they are they are the world. They're right up there in terms of the rankings.
Ishaq Sharma coming back on now. He's bowled nicely, hasn't he? A couple of good LBWs, Hamid and Johnny Bairstow just angling the ball back up the slope.
And he's got that field that allows him to bowl straight. The umpire's getting involved again. What's Pujara saying to Richard Illingworth? Difficult to. Trying to read body language there. Is he saying, "Am I in? Can you still see?" Because he's quite in that line at short leg where he might be in the umpire's way. Anyway, he's got that leg side field that allows him to bowl straight, just in that. Here is Ishant going into bowl outside the off stump, and he falls over. He falls over on the pitch. I was watching the ball and I saw Ishant sprawled out on a length there. So we're into the last hour. Let's make a note of what time that started. So it's, I reckon, 5:56.
I mean, he's a tall chap, Ishant Sharma, but he's got some steep bounds today. There you go, the fall right on a length.
Is Kohli off the field? Yes, he is. He's up in the visitors' dressing room there.
Who's he speaking to? He's got Ashwin next to him. Not too sure what's going on there.
This is Ishant bowling outside the off stump to Robinson as a rather friendly delivery, and Robinson able to let that one go through to Rishabh Pant. Well, it's going to be a tense last hour.
It's a lot of balls to bat, isn't it?
It is, and there will not be any room to relax. Only when there's then into the final over of 3 wickets left, if they get to that really, and they're not even relaxed then, because you could go bang 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 in that final over. So they're going right to the end. A long way off here for England. Robinson has survived 21 balls. Ishant moves in to bowl to him, and that was a better one outside the off stump, and he was just drawn into playing at it, and then missed it by quite a long way in the end through to Pant. Welcome back to our Radio 4 long wave listeners. You've missed 3 deliveries of the final hour, and Robinson has survived them all. 2 he let go, and 1 he played and missed at. Got about an hour or so's cricket left. It is sunny. The weather's playing ball as far as India are concerned. I think this time yesterday evening the lights were on full beam, and the cloud was over the ground. England could not bowl with the new ball yesterday evening. And they decided not to bowl their spinners. They could have done. They could have kept going with the spinners. Basically, both teams wanted to go off in the end. Ishant bowls, and that's driven by Robinson away on the offside out towards extra cover, and there is no run. So there must be obviously with Kohli off the field for now. There must be a sub-fielder on. Who's number 2 on your list there, Zoltz? Who's number 2?
2 is Iswaran, and 44 is Vihari, who's also on.
Oh yes, he's at mid-on. So 2 sub-fielders, yeah. Iswaran on the reserve openers.
He's still talking about his drop catch for Kohli. He's sat on the bench on the pavilion step.
What, the Butler one?
Yeah, he's going through his mind. Well, he knows, doesn't he, if he'd have taken that catch.
Now Vihari's come from mid-on to short extra cover now, so 2 short extra covers. And Ishant Sharma goes into bowl to Robinson, and Robinson gets a ball close to off stump. Good judgment, an opener's judgment there, letting that one go. And it's through to Pant. That was close to off stump.
Well, I think this is... Well, Ishant's bowled very well today, but it's because he's angling the ball and he's getting the ball to come up the slope. It's such a hard delivery to face when it's coming against the slope. And then he bowls a straight ball. It feels like it's like an away swinger, because you've been expecting the ball to come back up the slope. So he's bowling a really good channel, because you can tell from Robinson he's thinking, do I play, don't I play? When's it going to come up the slope? Will it go on straight with the arm? It's getting a bit of bounce.
Last ball of the over. Ishant bowls to Robinson, and Robinson dead bats it to Vihari. Short mid off, and that is the end of the over. So chalk off one of the last 15, but still 14 to go. It's 112 for 7. Butler has 19. He's been there for 74 balls. Robinson has survived 25 balls. He has 8. We're going the distance in this Lord's Test match, past 6 o'clock on the final day, and still plenty of cricket left in it. Time for Alison Mitchell to come in after a few more thoughts from you, Michael.
Yeah, and Virat's back on the pitch, and it'll be Jasprit Bumrah to carry on from the pavilion end. The sun is glaring down. Beautiful evening here in St John's Wood, and you can tell from that conversation that Virat was having with the reserves. That drop catch is going through his mind. He knows.
Jos Buttler is still there, isn't he? And he may well still be there at the end. That's what England are hoping. Or at least that somebody is. A pair of batsmen can manage to survive. 7 down. Slip cordon is being bolstered. 3 in the slips plus the gully. Pujara getting rid of the helmet though. Where is he retreating to? He's going to go a little bit deeper at mid-wicket. Short mid-wicket nevertheless for Butler then. 112 for 7. 14 overs to go. It's Bumrah from the pavilion end into Butler. He's getting up and one just cuts in a touch. Angled into the offside defensively and no run. Tell you what, it's a good day this wasn't a 4-day test match. We've had quite a few good 5-day tests around the world.
Absolutely.
Of late.
Yeah.
A number of them involving India as well. But now the sun out, no murky, dark skies and floodlights that are going to save England here. We've got to do it all with the bat. Bumrah. Slow start to his run at little pigeon steps as a pigeon swoops over the ground and in outside the off stump. Some decent lift through to Rishabh Pant.
Yeah, the problem with someone like Bumrah is, from an England perspective, he's got it in him to bowl the unplayable. On any surface, at any time, he's got it in him to bowl a ball that he just can't play. So far, he's not got too much movement. With that cordon of 4 slips now, we saw him found the outside edge of Joe Root. Got it in him to take one up the slope to Jos Buttler. Technique has got to be so good to face someone like this.
That's what's keeping this really healthy crowd in and on the edge of their seats here. Bumrah is in, forward again comes Buttler. He defends into the offside once more. Getting well in behind it. And just driving and striving. Kohli dropping Buttler in the 27th over of the innings. We're now into the 47th over. A bit of an anxious look on his face right now. But with 14 overs to go, like I said, India just needs 3 good balls. You'd still rather be in their camp searching for the win, thinking that 3 good balls probably a greater chance than England batting out another 14 overs. But let's see if there's still a lot of fight. Buttler being key. Now 2 fielders close in either side of the strip in front of the bat here, as well as a short mid-wicket, and Bumrah is in again, gives him a bouncer, dips the shoulder to get underneath it. Absolutely being crowded now.
Every time in this innings, you felt that the partnership has just taken the sting out of the game. A wicket has fallen.
You're absolutely right. It's the timing, isn't it? And they've so often fallen in pairs. Albeit Bairstow and Root were separated by the tea interval, but nevertheless went from 67 for 3 to 67 for 5, and then the 2 in 2. Moeen and Sam Curran in again, full, angled out towards vacant point region. Gully will field and Buttler will take 1. It brings Ollie Robinson on strike to face just the last ball of the over though.
See, with Buttler taking the single, I think if I was India, I would almost offer in a single first ball of every over. So
do you think he'd take it though?
Well, he has been taking them. Whether he will, further down the line in a few overs' time, but he has been. And just bowl as many balls as you possibly can to Ollie Robinson. He's England's number 9. So you either choose to bowl to a number 9 or a number 6.
Yeah, and they want to be bowling to Robinson. It's absolutely certain. Leg slip in place for Robinson. So 2 slips to Gully, leg slip. 3 catches in front of the wicket, close in. Angled again to point, shout of no because Robinson set off. His game, single off the last ball of the over to take strike.
Yeah, but Buttler realises, there's no point in taking a single there. You're on strike. You've got to do the majority of the work from now on in. 13 overs, 78 balls.
It's a lot of batting. It's a lot of balls for India to take 3 wickets, isn't it?
This partnership has now lasted 8.4 overs, so 52 deliveries.
Has there been any sort of pattern, Andy? The regularity at which England's wicket clusters or wicket pairs have fallen?
Well, they lost 2 straight away in the first 2 overs. Then Hamid was in the 16th over. Then Bairstow and Root within 4 balls in the 22nd and 23rd overs. And then 2 and 2 by Siraj in the 39th over.
Sort of asking, are England due in that sense? But it's been remarkable, hasn't it? The 2 ducks. And then Bairstow and Root, and then Moeen and Curran. Buttler getting ready to face up to Bumrah. 2 slips, leg slip. Again, 2 catches either side of the pitch. Close up as Zin bouncer outside the off stump. It doesn't really trouble Buttler, and he's able to sway, drop the hands, and allow the ball to He's down the slope towards the keeper. How are you feeling, Phil?
Evening.
Evening.
It's
Three
been,
good balls around the corner, do you sense?
Well, it's been a long day. It's been a long day, and it comes down to this: 13 overs. 13 overs, or just under now. There's a few heads in hands on the England dressing room. There's a few quiet sort of faces just sitting there, taking it all in.
Could yet see a heroic 13 over stand, keeping India at bay. And now that's a straight ball, slightly back of a length from Ishant Sharma, defended into the onside.
What's the minimum length a stand needs to be heroic in a draw?
I don't know.
Surely
A delivery,
any-
sir. A delivery. A
This
delivery.
stage of the
All
game.
things being relative, Tuffers.
A delivery.
I mean, the whole innings
Wow.
only needed 60 overs. I mean, it's not one of the classic rear guards, is it?
No, it wouldn't be. But given the feel,
Who was the chap who came off his sick bed in Australia all those years ago?
Eddie Painter.
Eddie Painter. Eddie Painter.
Well,
He came
tell you
off
what,
to win the game, I think.
Oh, was he did win it?
well, it could be Mark Wood just coming out with one shoulder heavily strapped, only able to hold a bat in one hand. That would be heroic. Sharma in outside the off stump and happy to let it go. If he doesn't need to play at it, that's certainly going to help Butler's cause. Shadows lengthening here at Lord's.
Didn't get Colin Cowdrey, didn't he?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
He didn't face a ball, though. He was...
Oh, didn't he?
Yeah. He came in, I think, for the last 2 balls. It was at the non-striker's end.
He did have a broken arm at the time,
Yeah.
didn't he? Yes, and he was there.
Well, you'd have to work very hard at farming the strike, wouldn't you, if it
Yeah.
was Mark Wood coming out sort of with one shoulder. But we're not sure. Haven't actually seen Mark Wood up on the balcony to see how he's going. The shoulder, we know, was heavily strapped last night. Ishant in now. Inside the off stump, little Fuller. Having a bit of pace off. Butler has eased it out through extra cover. Won't reach the boundary, but will come back and run 3. Picked up just inside the rope.
Paul Terry, I think, faced a ball with a broken arm as well, didn't he? They got me out of my sick bed at Adelaide. I think we needed about 450 to win.
Was it your sick bed or just your bed?
No, my sick bed. No, I was on a...
Was that England or Australia got you out of bed?
No, I was on my sick bed. I don't know, dehydrated or what have you. We needed about 400 to win with about 4 days to go. And, you know, I was lying there and I sort of... They said, well, Phil, you've got to come back and have a bat, you know. I was sort of going, oh,
Really?
really? We need 400 to win. 2 days, Weatherset Fair. Really? Do you think that's going to happen? They dragged me out and I was out about 3rd ball.
Robinson facing up. Defends ball of foolish length on off stump. So pitching it up.
The one thing that will just start happening now is that the Indian side and the Indian bowlers will just start looking at the overs ticking away now, and the shoulders will just get a bit tenser. So every ball now England block.
Well, it takes them a step closer.
Well, exactly, and it just starts to shift the kind of feeling of anxiety now, and you start searching and looking for wickets, which can just sort of put you off your stroke a bit.
I mean, the one thing India haven't had to worry about is runs through any of this, because the 2 ducks that fell, England were never looking at a chase. Ishant is in, it's off the edge of the bat. He had to bring the bat down very quickly, pitched it right up there. Full ball, almost snuck through Robinson's defences.
Don't miss that. That kept low a little bit. He's getting himself in a good position, Robinson. He's a tall man, but you just need to be mindful now. I mean, end of day 5, the wicket's starting to break up a bit, starting to go a little bit underground on the odd one pop, and that one nearly went under his bat.
So many dark footmarks, aren't there, for the bowlers this stage of the 5th day. That's why 5-day pitches bring so many unknowns and variables into play. That's the end of the over.
Yeah, I need a biscuit to get through these last 12 hours. I haven't had anything.
What have you gone for? Rich tea? OT? OT biscuits?
Yeah, I've gone for an OT crunch.
Oh, good. Oh, watch out for that. They're a bit crumbly.
Oh, are they?
Just watch out, make too much of a mess over there, will you?
It's just, I need some sustenance to keep me going.
Into the last 12 overs now.
6 each end.
Butler facing up to Bumrah. Butler's been out there for 83 balls and he gets a bouncer. Ducks underneath it. It was well directed. Flex those knees quickly. Get the helmet out of the way.
Yeah, that dropped catch by Curlew was off his 12th ball, so now 72 balls, but chewed up since then.
How crucial could that be? Boy, we've had a couple of fabulous test matches.
Yeah.
Set up for a cracking series.
3 more to come.
Yeah.
Is it India 1-0 going into the third, or is it going to be 0-0? Still with all to play over the last 3. No. Within the next 45 minutes. Here goes Bumrah in. Butler just come in on him a little bit quicker, a little bit of extra bounce perhaps. And Butler with his back to us. Managed to get the bat down, defended into the offside once more.
And just watching Butler there, you've got to kind of occupy your mind. He's just played that, and it's just, it's leapt at him, hit him on the bottom of the glove. And he's just taken, take 6 or 7 paces to square leg, compose yourself, walk back on. You've got to switch on, switch off.
Immense concentration levels here with India searching and searching. They need just 3 wickets to win this match. And they're against the clock full, and Butler is defending. Well, kept out again to the onside. There's 3 fielders in front of the bat, close in.
Yeah, it's not a good biscuit. It's not a good biscuit to commentate
too crumbly.
with. No, Just
not a good dunker either.
No, it's not. Just as well we've got a screen between us.
Too much info.
Yes,
Too much info.
Oh dear.
But yeah, you've got to pick your biscuits well, Phil.
Well, especially on the end of day 5.
Well, when the nerves are going a little bit, you're a little bit shaky just unwrapping it then as well.
I know. It's been one of those test matches, hasn't it?
Just nervy, and it needn't have been so nervy. England had the upper hand when they dismissed Rishabh Pant at the start of the day. They got exactly what they wanted, and they got it quite early in the piece. He had only added 8 runs, and the lead, started the day with a lead of 154, and then India were able to declare, setting England 272.
Where did that come from? I still don't know. We were having a chat this morning, weren't we? Over a cup of tea.
The lead is now 155, so there's been 1 run difference since the start of play, but a few wickets have gone.
Yeah. We were having a chat, weren't we? Thinking, we could win this, or England could win this, and get rid of Pant, and then 200 and a fantastic chase, but it's just been completely turned on its head.
India in the hunt. 2 fielders with shin pads on close in either side of the pitch, and Butler's there stroking one out, pushing it to the offside. And he's batting valiantly, just keeping himself calm, you're right, between deliveries.
I think you also start just setting little milestones as well. Let's get it down to single figures. What is it, 11.2 now? We'll have another little chat after this one. Let's just get it down to single figures, then let's get 12 balls, and then just start chipping away.
Is Butler going to look for the single this ball to get on strike? 5th ball of the over from Bumrah. 2 slips in the gully. Bob down outside the off stump, gets to quickly shoulder arms, raises that bat high above his head as it goes by outside the off stump. And so no run, with 1 more ball to come in the over.
There he goes for his wonder, Jos Buttler.
Broad of the turf.
Yeah.
Is that what you were doing when you were feeling a little bit under the weather at Adelaide? Between your balls 1 and 2 before you were out on ball 3?
Between 1 and 2. As it seemed a mountain to climb. I think there might have been about 480 deliveries for me to negotiate. I'd have got my steps up.
Last ball of the over, Bumrah to Butler, and it's wide, so that was deliberate to prevent Butler from getting bat on it to take a single. It means that Robinson is on strike. Been out there 28 balls accompanying Butler ever since Sam Curran fell. The first ever king pair at Lords. First baller in the first innings and a first baller in the second. Siraj was then on a hat-trick, so just another moment among many in this test match that have created excitement and drama, and a wonderful crowd that have been here since the start of the day, and so many of them Indian supporters as well. I mean, it's felt at times like a home game for India when the wickets have been falling with the excitement around Lords.
There were 21.4 overs remaining when Sam Curran was out, so after 1 more ball they would have done half the job.
Half the job that was left. Yeah.
I mentioned earlier on how few wickets have fallen up between the 25th and 70th over of innings in this test, really, sort of from the first 25 up to the second new ball. There hasn't been a wicket yet in overs 51 to 60. in this match. But then last time I gave that stat, 2 wickets fell in 2 balls. So
basically jinxing.
beware.
All right, let's keep an eye out. We're entering over number 50 of the innings. It means 11 overs left. Robinson on strike. And thought that they would be bowling Siraj. But it's Ishant Sharma. Siraj has disappeared back into mid-on. And here is Ishant. The pads of Robinson. He's angled it away down to fine leg for a single. Quite the angle from Sharma. It was played nonchalantly enough by Robinson, so he's happy down at the far end. He can lean on his bat handle once again and say, there you go, Joss. You can deal with the rest of this from Ishant. But there will be another surge from Mohammad Siraj.
Oh, without doubt. Without doubt. He's just getting his breath back. Have a little breather and then probably come into the end. Surprised we haven't seen the left arm spin.
A bit more of Jadeja.
Perhaps, I don't know, but I suppose the seamers have been doing the trick,
yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, all the wickets have gone to the seamers. Ishant in, and Butler with a bit of extra bounce again, and
Straight.
fending it, dead straight up the pitch. Fended, angled into the offside. Yeah, Siraj was the bowler to dismiss both Moeen and Curran. Moeen was caught by Virat Kohli. Kohli also took the catch to dismiss Joe Root. That was the first over after tea. Bumrah, the bowler, and that's when you really felt that the game was burst open for India, because they'd dismissed Bairstow on the stroke of tea. Went away, had the interval, put the feet up, just a little bit of a breather, came out, got Root the over afterwards. That was 5 down with 67 on the board, and then 2 in 2 balls. Straight again, targeting Butler and trying to get through those defences.
He's just playing around his front pad a little bit here, Joss Butler. He does not want to miss any of those, because this is a bowling side now. You're not particularly going for outside edges. You're looking for pads and bolds. So you've got to keep that straight back going. If one does deviate, that will bring in the outside edge. But you don't want any wasted deliveries as a bowling unit now. You've got to go stumps.
Butler's the man to keep India at bay at the moment. He's doing his best to protect Ollie Robinson as well. As a pair, just to try and guide England through another 10 overs after this. Save the game. The sun's dipping behind some light cloud. And Sharma is in outside the off stump that time. Butler's very happy to watch that one through to Rishabh Pant. He says, thank you very much.
Yep.
It's one less one I have to worry about.
Exactly. So that's what I was just saying about the momentum shift. There's no point in just keeping them outside off stump, because they'd almost put those shots away now. They won't be tickling or going for expansive drives or cuts. So it always comes down to it, hit the top of off stump.
You can see some tense faces in the crowd, both from Indian supporters and England supporters. England who just want this pair to stick around, and the Indian supporters are saying, just one more and 3 more good balls can do it. Sharma in full again, Butler keeping him out. He's down the ground, away towards the boundary, straight back past the stumps, just to the onside. Butler's coming back for a gentle 2, left for Shami to chase back, and he picks it up inside the ropes. England are 119 for 7, looking to save this game. Busy day for you, Phil, I see, because you've got a Tuffers and Vaughan show on 5 Live tonight. You were aware of that, I hope?
We've got so much to talk about, I can't wait.
9 p.m. you will be on air. You've got your sleeping bag. You'll be here till 10. Excellent.
No, I'm not doing
recording
it
it elsewhere.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul Farbrace is coming on, former England coach.
Well, I'm looking forward to having a chat with the old England coach about some of those tactics we saw this morning.
Last ball of the over. Ishant to Butler, full stroked up the pitch. And Ishant fields, no run. Robinson to face the 51st over with 10 left. England 119 for 7. India in the hunt for these last 3 wickets. And time and overs ticking away. Tuffers, a few more words from you. Simon Mann coming in.
Yeah, another one ticks past. Another mid-pitch chat. Everyone's having a talk out there. Bumrah's having a chat to Kohli. Pant's having a chat to Rohit. Butler's having a chat to Robinson. Everyone's having a chat. And we're having a chat.
We are. Are you going to be home in time for?
No, I'm not
Tuffers
sure.
and Vaughan?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're doing it for home, I know. I suppose There's a very good tweet from. I mean, it's sort of a niche tweet, really. It's a sort of newspaper journalist tweet from Ian Dark, the football commentator, former boxing commentator, saying, "Is Kohli paid by the word?"
Well, I think he's got a few quid anyway.
I know, but he's been chatting a bit today, hasn't
Absolutely, and then it might just. Well, I'm not even going to go there. Not even going to go there. We won't get the commentators' curse on things, but I mean, that drop. When was that drop again? Sorry, I forgot.
Butler was on 2.
He's on 2 off 12, so now 82 more balls. He's
big over this. I just feel it.
Here's Bumrah, bowls a short ball down the leg side. Butler ducks underneath it. Good take by Pant away to his left.
Every ball.
Sun disappears behind a bit of cloud. But this has worked out okay for India, the light.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the floodlights are on, but there's enough natural light for us, for them and everyone to be reasonably confident we can get these last 10 overs in. Michael Gough comes across from square leg to point. So we're inside the last 10 overs now. 119 for 7. And Robinson, 9 not out from 30 balls, faces Bumrah. Bumrah goes in and bowls to him, and he just puts the bat there. Plays it away into the offside towards extra cover. The minimal movement there from Robinson, and he walks off towards square leg. Come on, Thomas, we've still got 9 overs left here. If you like this with 9 overs to go,
it's just
you're playing every ball out there.
Churning. It's just churning, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, it's very exciting. The closer you get, sometimes the harder it becomes.
Correct.
Robinson waits for Bumrah's with him now, and Robinson defends that back up the off side of the pitch.
Oh, what a good shot that is. That is get past that.
Yeah. We saw earlier that we've had sort of lulls and then flurry of wickets, and that's the thing, isn't it? They 3 balls away, India are from winning this Test match in theory. England have still got just under 60 balls to go for them to survive, and we saw Moeen Ali and Curran out in successive balls to Siraj earlier.
This is interesting round the wicket. Going to have a bit of leg theory. Probably going to bowl into the ribs into the armpit, and then try and slip one across him on the angle to the slips. Just a change of plan. India feeling the tension now.
There's Bumrah then. This round the wicket approach into bowl to Robinson. It's short. He ducks underneath it. That was too short really from Bumrah. And Robinson well underneath that. And it's through to Rishabh Pant.
Wouldn't fancy being Mark Wood or Jimmy Anderson.
It's funny, there's that thought that just came to you. What were you like in situations like this? You really hated the idea of it.
Someone would have had to come and find me, because I would not have been watching. Right. You can't. It's just too, as you say, churning and nerve jangling. You have to just wait there and listen to the crowd and the roar.
This partnership's been together for 75 balls. Bumrah bowls another short ball, and it flies through to Pant. Robinson ducks underneath it.
Don't mind that.
How many is that in the over? Is that 2 in the over? Yeah, I think some of the crowd thought that was a no ball. That's the last thing England want, is a no ball. It's like Jimmy Anderson the other evening. Last thing he wanted was another Bumrah no ball to be signalled. I wonder if there might be a change in law that you could actually say, I don't want the extra ball in the over. Decline the no ball or extra ball. We'll have the run, but not the extra ball. Bumrah bowls to Robinson, struck on the pad from round the wicket. Big shout for LBW.
That's close.
It's not been given out.
That's close.
What are they going to do?
They've got to review.
They have reviewed it. India have 3 reviews left. It's round the wicket though.
Original decision is not out.
But does it sort of tail back in? That's the thing. Bumrah's capable of doing that.
That feels close to me.
Right, let's have a look. Front on.
Pitched in line.
Oh, that's a very good shout.
Okay, we'll need to see ultra edge when available, thank you.
It's almost a spinner. It's an off spinner. It's an off spinner from Bumrah.
Keep that rolling through, please. Keep it rolling through. Keep it rolling through. Thank you. Keep it rolling through all the way to the pad. We've got a clear gap between bat and ball. No bat involved. Ball tracking when ready, please.
Great delivery, that is.
Here we go. Here's the ball tracking. Pitching in line. Impact in line. Wickets hitting. He's out.
Pitching in line, impact in line, and hitting the wickets. I'm going to go back to Richard on field. Change of decision. Get on camera now.
England are 8 down. That's brilliant bowling from Jasprit Bumrah. They've overturned umpire Illingworth's decision. Bumrah bowling round the wicket and then getting it to move back in. It hit him on the back leg, but he was sort of crouching down.
Knew it straight away, Bumrah. He looked at the captain Kohli and gave, I want that reviewed. I want that reviewed. It's an amazing delivery from Asima. It's almost like a really, really quick off-spinner. He slung it across Robinson and then it's turned back past the inside edge and hit him on the back leg, and he was down low, crouched, and that's pitched in line and then turned back and hit the middle stump.
Mark Wood comes in with 9.1 overs left and India needing 2 wickets to win the match.
What a delivery that is. You saw it coming out of his hand like an off-spinner. Great delivery, such a skillful bowler. Played well though, Mark Robinson. He's dragged it out. Mark Wood with a dodgy shoulder coming to the wicket.
The thought does strike me that it's probably better for England that Wood is coming in now than Stuart Broad.
Yes. Even though Stuart would be doing his best to get stuck in.
Absolutely, but Wood is he's a better batter than Broad is now. But that doesn't guarantee anything for England, of course. It's a desperate situation for them.
It's just getting your pads out of the way. You just as a bowling unit, you're all sitting there talking to each other. It's just go for stumps, go for straight. You miss, I hit.
I think there might have been a comment passed to Wood there and he just greeted it with a little smile.
Yeah.
How can you sledge Mark Wood? Such a lovely man. But wonderful from Bumrah. Wonderful bowling.
It's an amazing delivery.
Fantastic. He's going back over the wicket to bowl the final ball of this over to Mark Wood. Raucous at Lords. Bumrah hunting another wicket. Goes into bowl to Wood, and Wood plays that away into the offside, down into the gully. He survives his first ball. There are 9 overs left for India to win this Test match, and they need 2 wickets. It's coming up to 6:30. A long game, and India prepared to play it to go 1 up in the series.
Ollie Robinson's valuable innings, 9 from 35 balls. The partnership lasted 12.5 overs.
That's good partnership. It's good partnership. Just what England needed.
And Indian supporters getting behind Bumrah for that delivery, and you can hear the England supporters trying to urge Buttler and Wood on here.
Siraj here, he'll bowl himself out, I think. What's he got? He's got 5 overs left from this end. He's full of energy, full of fizz, full of aggression.
Well, Siraj, he got rid of Moeen Ali and Curran in successive balls. It's one of those bowlers the captains love. The batsmen want to bowl, full of energy. Buttler has been there for 94 balls, so you'd imagine if possible he needs to take the majority of these remaining 54 if England get that far.
54 balls.
Yeah. Siraj goes in, bowls to Buttler down the leg side, struck on the pad but high up on the thigh pad. Really optimistic shout for LBW from Siraj. Actually no chance of that one being out, although the DRS timer goes up on the board, but Siraj is marching back to his mark.
They've got to have a method here now with these last 2. Jimmy Anderson, he can hang about, but you've got to start farming the strike now, I think. I mean, they were quite happy not to, weren't they, Robinson, and because he was playing nicely, and Buttler, but I think Josh Buttler's got to take the majority of the deliveries.
Siraj to Buttler. Buttler plays at that. Is he caught behind? He is! He's nibbled at it, and Siraj takes the wicket, and they're mobbing him, and it's changed so quickly. India 1 wicket away now. A ball outside the off stump. Buttler felt for it, nicked it through to Pant, and India on the verge of victory.
Fabulous delivery again from Siraj. You had to play at that with the angle, and then it just pitches and leaves him, takes the outside edge. The slip cordon go crazy. India on the verge here at Lords.
I mean, Kohli's reaction to that was incredible. It was as though he was the bowler, celebrating as if he's the bowler that took the wicket. Well, he's on the verge of something significant here. What a turnaround on this final day. Incredible turnaround. India overnight 154 ahead, 4 wickets left. We always knew they were in the game on the final day, but when they declared after lunch, could they bowl England out in 60 overs? Well, you bet they can. 8.4 overs left for Anderson and Wood to survive. Jimmy Anderson coming down the steps at the far end of the pavilion. He's done it before, famously with Monty Panesar in Cardiff against Australia. He's 39 now, and he was given a real working over in that first innings from Jasprit Bumrah. Surely this is India's game. It needs something special, something remarkable for these two to survive from here. But they'll try.
Well, this test match really caught fire, didn't it, with Bumrah bowling to Anderson. And it's been a bit of a slugging match since that delivery and that over.
It's the 4th time in the innings that England have lost 2 quick wickets, 2 in 7 balls in the first 2 overs, and they lost 2 in 4 either side of T. Bairstow and Root, Burns and Sibley out early on. Then Moeen and Curran 2 in 2 from Siraj, and now again 2 in 4 balls, Robinson and Butler.
Well, if you're an India supporter, this is one of the great days, isn't it, of Test cricket in this country.
Been brilliant.
I think they've only ever won 7 tests in England. They certainly haven't won a 5-match series. 8.4 overs left. Here is Siraj to bowl to Anderson. He's with him now. Anderson plays and misses with the ball across him outside the off stump. Through to Pant Siraj. Oh, he's rushing through with his arms in the air. He thought Anderson might have got a nick. Who would hear it? Bedlam out there. Siraj walking purposefully back. So many close catches. Anderson's name you can hear being cheered. He was in around about this sort of time 2 days ago when he was getting bombed by Bumrah. This is even up another level. Siraj goes in, looking to finish it off. Bowls short to Anderson, who's up on his toes, pushing away into the offside. Out towards cover. No run. So 8.2 overs left. We'll have to count them down ball by ball.
50.
50. Thank you very much, Salts.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, 50.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Be a new format, that, couldn't it? It'd be a new format.
The 50.
They've only 1 wicket left.
Round the wicket.
It's Bumrah against Anderson. That's going to be the big test. And this is big enough. Siraj has taken 3 wickets. Butler, Moeen and Curran. 4 seamers have all chipped in. 2 balls left in the over. Siraj goes in, bowls to Anderson. He's got him, he's bowled him. Groping forward, India have won. Siraj takes a stump out of the ground and heads towards the pavilion. And that's been an incredible Indian victory on this final day. They've won with a bit to spare in the end. They've knocked England over and they've won by 151 runs to go 1-0 up in the series. They have played brilliant cricket today, backed by their feverish supporters who've turned up in huge numbers. And England just did not have enough in the end.
Well, it all went wrong in the morning for England. That amazing partnership between Bumrah and Shami have just ripped the heart out of this England side, and they couldn't come back with the bat in their hand. Jimmy Anderson, it's a good ball from Siraj, angled in and then just nipped up the hill and took the top of off stump. And Lords goes wild, and England are turned over on the last day. What a day. What a day of Test cricket that's been.
Well, it's been a brilliant Test match. It really has. I mean, England fighting hard for 3 days. after India's dominant first day. And then coming into the last day, England marginal favourites, perhaps a bit more than that it seemed. And there's one stump in the ground at this end, and I think is it Vihari who's come down to take? No, he's left it on the ground. I think it's the stump mic, so he can't take it. He wanted a memento. He's not playing in the game, but he wanted something from the game. And the England, is that the India backroom staff who've come down to?
I don't know. Everyone's on the pitch.
Yeah, there's loads of them at the far end of the ground, and that's. It was a real blow struck by India, because England would have had that confidence this morning, but to lose the game in the way they have, a real dent to their confidence.
Well, you just got the feeling, didn't you? When you're in that kind of position and the tail really wags, Joe Root comes down the stairs.
Here come the England team now to acknowledge what India have done here, shaking hands and patting the India players on the back for what they've done. Moeen's down there and Root. And Root will have to speak to Jonathan shortly about this really chastening day for England. But that would be fantastic for India. They're a very good side. They won in Australia, and their cricket today has been irresistible.
Irresistible is the word, and it came from the most unlikely source, didn't it? Bumrah with the bat and Shami with the bat, and when you have those kind of days, it rips you to pieces. And I think England, when they had the bat in their hand, and they lost those 2 early wickets, didn't they? 2 early wickets, Burns for naught, Sibley for naught, and it was just a perfect start, and they just couldn't resist the irresistible force.
Yes, Siraj was the main man ultimately with 4 wickets, Bumrah with 2, Ishant 2, and Shami with 1. So we thought about whether India had picked the wrong side and whether they needed Ashwin on this final day, but I think there was that feeling that perhaps they could win it either way, and that's what they've done. They've done it with the 4 seamers, and they've not needed Ravi Chandran Ashwin. Strange old test match. After the first day, thought India on top, clear favourites to go on and win this game, but the way they've done it, the circuitous route to victory.
How much is that going to hurt as well? Days like this stay with you for a while. You'll be away. There's a few players there who'll be thinking, am I going to be playing in the 3rd test match? And you could see on Joe Root's face that through all his efforts and that wonderful 180 he got the other day, to be beaten in this fashion, it's just.
Well, the skipper's averaged over 200 in this test match.
Well, can someone else stick the round up and help him out? Amazing game of cricket. Brilliant. Well played, India. It's been a fabulous day here as well. As I say, first 3/4 full Lords on the 5th day. Been on the edge of their seat. Loved every minute of it.
Bumrah finishing with 3 for 33. Shami 1 for 13. Jadeja didn't take a wicket. Siraj 4 for 32. Ishant 2 for 13. The 4 pace bowlers doing a great collective job for India. England all out for 120 in their second innings, and it happens so quickly as well. We have those moments of calm, and then bang bang, and then at the end it was 3 in quick succession. Anderson cleaned up, good ball on off stump, a bit like he was out in the first innings, bowled the top of off stump, although that time he was pushing in defence. And I love Siraj's reaction. He raced down and grabbed a stump to make sure he had a memento of the day. A wonderful day in his life, to take the winning wicket in a Lord's Test match. And Kohli as well, sprinting around. He made that call after lunch, the declaration. Gave his side a chance of winning this Test match, and they have taken it. So they bowled England out in the end in 51.5 overs. So they become the 2nd team in Test history to win a Test match after declaring after lunch on the final day. That is some effort to go along with New Zealand back in 1984. Well, a memorable 5 days at Lord's for all of us who've been here. The spectators who've turned up, must have had over 100,000 spectators here in the last 5 days, and the game finishing past 6:30 on the final day with a glorious victory for India.